Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everyone, and happy Halloween. There's Anthony's costume, I think. Old Tim at Cleve and Spot Shoe. Yes. Anthony, known for his lack of spelling. We're not the most creative costume wearer. I don't even know if you can call what any of us are doing wearing costumes. G is dressed as an Ohio State player getting NIL.
Look, I just saw Ryan Day, and I came back from the coach's office. I'm a top 100 recruit. I just bought a new chain. I got some Jordans. I got a car outside. Shout out to Ryan Day. But he don't even know that I'm already negotiating my second deal with Alabama.
Tyvis is a Ohio State stormtrooper.
Hey, bro.
Apparently.
Like, first and foremost, like, are you wearing that at the crib?
What, this?
Yeah.
No, that's Anthony's helmet.
Yeah,
he borrowed it.
Anthony's, yeah.
I'm about to say, man, Tyvis, that's some crazy role playing right there.
I'd rather get.
That's wild. You come in the crib like that, they be like, "This how you feeling today?"
That's right.
I heard a spice, but dang.
Yeah.
It's hot in this thing.
I know. You mess around and pass out.
That's what she said. Hello.
Yes.
And I'm just dressed as inappropriate shirt guy. If you could get a close up on the shirt there, Steve. Whew. You get it?
That's crazy. I feel like that cow's jeans don't fit. Them is spandex.
He's not
boys.
a cow. He's a bull.
The bull. But look how big his legs is compared to them little tights.
Yeah. Can we? Let me
Them
see.
is leggings down here. How
That's
does
true.
them fit all over all them thighs?
You're right.
They're jegging.
And you got tighty whities on. Please don't tell me you wear them. You wear them, bro?
I do not wear tighty
Okay,
whities.
okay.
You'll be happy to know.
Because that could turn into a thong quickly.
Most likely
ride up.
member of our team to wear tighty whiteys.
Most
Director
likely.
Steve.
Oh,
We're all gonna say Director Steve.
I think
That's
yeah.
a slam dunk.
No, hey, Steve at the crib. Atlanta Steve might have a couple pair.
Atlanta Steve.
Atlanta Steve might aim but he has his on a clothing line. He has a clothing line in the back of his joint, like with the plins.
Yeah.
Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Like he got his joints flying.
Director Steve.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about I don't use.
Do you
dry
air
sheets.
dry, Director Steve?
Do
You air dry on a
your clothes?
clothesline?
He doesn't wash his clothes, he says.
What?
Well, who
What
does?
you talking about?
Oh, he sends them out. I used to do that.
Hey, listen.
That's the most bougiest thing I've ever
Not
heard in my
bougie.
life.
It's a single man thing.
Nah.
You don't know how to do your own laundry?
I mean, I do now, but when I was, in my 20s,
my mama taught me when I was like 7 years old, like, this is what you got to do. And from that moment on, I do my wife does it now. But
Director Steve, let me find
you
out.
want help?
yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Let me find out you got a significant other in that laundry.
That's what I want to know.
We're going to follow him.
That's why I had to ask who doing it.
Who doing that laundry?
Now, there's some laundromats that you drop off your stuff and they do the clothes for you. It's nice and easy.
We're not giving him credit for that.
Is that
You don't think so?
That
No.
ain't expensive? It's like 20,
I mean,
40, 20,
I don't
40
know. I
bucks
haven't
a-
done that in years, but back in the day when I was living in Utica early in my career, I didn't want to be doing laundry.
Why not? It's free.
Here's what I'm going to say.
I didn't even have a washer and dryer in my house.
Is this if you a man, listen, let me ask y'all a question
Yeah.
because we into the area that I like to talk about, and that's gear. If you a man and you got jeans, right? You know you got your favorite pair of jeans.
Right.
Them jeans don't need to be washed like that.
I wash my jeans
Which ones?
like once a week.
them money, if you got a pair
Maybe
of
twice. If I'm really sweaty, I do it
right.
more. But
I
But
agree with this statement.
if you don't be
You don't have to wash jeans every time you wear them.
No.
Unless you stain them or something like that.
Shirts.
And if they black, you really
No,
gotta,
but-
because you don't want to ashy them out.
Man,
shirts, I wash
you gotta flip
after
them
every-
inside out when you wash them too.
and listen, my wife, like she's like a sterile cleaner. Like she'll bring out some bleach
Yeah,
and some
oh, yeah.
disinfectant in a heartbeat. And I had to tell her, like, the first 3 weeks when she got here, because you got to even think about it. When you do a K-1 visa, you don't be knowing the person really.
Yeah, right.
So they just show up.
Yeah,
she was
that's
like,
right.
yeah, I must do my cleaning now. And I said, oh, good job, babe. Good job. I'll be right back. Came back. All my clothes was laid out. I said, bro, did you wash those? These don't get washed. These don't get
How was
washed.
she supposed to know that?
She didn't know. She said, I don't know.
But how was she supposed to know that?
She said, I'm married to Black American. Black Americans don't wash pants.
You get you some G-Star, you got to put them in the freezer.
right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know
I
what
told him. I said,
Whoa,
listen.
you put something in the freezer?
G-Star jeans, when
Yeah.
you clean them, you put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
After you wash them? No, you don't wash them.
No, watch them. You put them in the freezer.
Yeah. See, it's
What
all-
does it do? Put them in the freezer?
That's how you clean them.
That's how they it's self-cleaning almost.
Really?
You
What
get
kind
you-
of jeans?
Remember them
G-Star.
Jabos? Listen.
with all the straps.
Oh my God! You could not
Hey,
wear
them
them
Jabos,
Jabos, boy.
06?
You
Back
could-
in 05,
Do
06?
not touch my straps on my Jabos. And by the way, Febreze was the king, right? 'Cause back in the day, I'm old enough to remember when you used to go to a bar, you come out smelling like
Oh
smoke.
my God, that was the worst.
So you had to have the Febreze on deck. Like, yeah, I'm a Febreze.
Now
just
I
like
can't.
that.
If I'm near anybody smoking at all, I can't take it. But we used to all go to bars.
Right.
You'd stink like cigarettes. Your hair, your clothes, everything.
You could buy a pack of cigarettes for like $20 in a bar. Like, you used to be able to
Oh,
go
yeah.
in there, they'd be like, it's an upcharge. Give me a pack of these
I
squares.
still remember when they changed the law where you couldn't smoke inside of public places anymore.
Yeah.
So I was at Thistledown, which is it still called Thistledown? Do y'all know what
I think so.
Okay, I was at Thistledown with my grandma. So my grandparents was big in the
Yeah.
horse racing and stuff like that.
Dang.
So we in there and my grandma fire up a scene.
Fire up.
My uncle go, you can't do that. You about to go to jail. She took that out, boo.
Hey, yeah, so it was a cigarette rule.
Oh,
like,
my God.
I used to in college. I used to be like, so we used to do this. Like, so if it was cute, girls, right? Certain women or certain people would like they would be social smokers, right?
Which is so bizarre now.
Now, right? And then so
They thought that was cute back
And so
in the day.
my white dude, one of my best friends, JT, he says, buddy, you're gonna have to learn to get one of these squares, buddy. I said, man, I don't know about this. We don't know, man. I remember like trying to hang out with them, and then they brought this thing called a Black and Mild.
Oh my God!
And
Not a milli watt.
They had it was a Black and Mild, and my brother, my brother's younger than me, but he's exponentially more hood than me. I don't know where he came from. He's like he's like Earl's cousin. Like,
he was freaking them out.
like he
Look, you gotta roll away.
he had this. He was doing. He had like 2 or 3 girls over there like doing this. I'm like, what are they doing with this?
Freaking that
Man, they was
mouth.
doing this the whole time.
Gotta
Man,
take it out,
They
take it-
pass it around to me. I'm thinking I'm cool, bull.
Yeah.
I took a smoke of this. Listen, I don't smoke cigarettes. I wasn't
Yeah.
doing none of that, bro. I almost passed out. I got instantly upset because I thought that they had laced it.
you.
Oh man.
I said, did you guys drug me? They said, bro, that's a cigar, bro. I said, bro, why is this hitting so tough? They said, G. Bush, bro, just calm down. You'll
Yeah.
be okay. You're around friends. Man, come to find out, man.
Yeah.
Them Black and Miles, all it was is they took out the filter. And this is how I
That's
know.
why
Yeah, you gotta take the filter.
I
too.
thought people took that out and put marijuana in there. No.
That's
I
what I
mean,
thought.
you can do that too.
It
Yeah.
hit that-
You could do that too, but like if somebody, depending on what your job is, see, some jobs you still can't smoke weed.
Yeah.
So if you can't smoke weed and you want to smoke, typally they smoke Black and Milds, where you got to freak it out. You got to pull the
almost threw
stick
up.
out, all those things. Listen, I ain't never smoked. I seen it done a lot in
almost
my
threw-
life, but
almost
I've never.
I don't know the recipe.
I tried a cigarette one time, and I thought it was the most disgusting thing ever. Never did it again.
The only thing I've ever smoked is a cigar in my life, and
Yeah.
I still,
I
I
think
just
cigars
don't
are gross.
understand it.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
does-
understand. What do you get out of it?
I remember real quick when I was a kid, we would go to restaurants and there'd be like a smoking section and a non-smoking section, and it like the smoke knew to stay in its own section. I mean, obviously not. Go ahead, Mike.
We'll get into the show in one sec. We're going to talk Cavs. We got Browns. We got Bernie. But
Mike looking like the cowboy from YMC from the Village People.
yes, the important thing to note, though,
Yeah.
we told everybody on
Oh, yeah,
multiple
we gotta tell
occasions.
this.
We have to talk about this real quick.
So, Mike, let me tell the story, Mike.
Sure. Well,
ahead.
Anthony's. We're going to send Anthony out so people can
Oh,
see
yeah, look
and
at
other
Anthony's
people
costume.
listen.
He
But yeah,
actually
Bo,
got
you can tell the
dressed up.
story now. It's all you.
So, hey, he's a shark.
Hey,
So-
you don't twist around like that.
So Mike sent a text, I think 3 times, saying, hey, try to dress up for Halloween, try to dress up for Halloween. Now, in fairness, you only started telling us about this yesterday. I said to my wife, what the hell am I going to wear for Halloween?
He said it last night.
I'll say, I'll wear this silly shirt I just bought. But it's not much of a costume. But we thought if anybody was going to be dressed up for Halloween, it is the best dressed man on the show, G. Bush.
I sent the first text yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
The second one last
night,
The
and then
third
one
this morning.
And then G comes in, and Mike said, hey, G, why didn't you get dressed up? And he's like, I wish you guys would have told me. Mike sent 3 texts in the last 12 hours.
There was, hey, bro, I came in and I was
Yeah.
confused. I'm like, dang, I was like, maybe it's his birthday or something, dog. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
thought he would get dressed up for his
I don't know. You know, Anthony into like anime and all kind of
he
Dungeons
into
and
stuff.
Dragons and stuff. So I'm like, cool. But then I see McNuggets come around here, and I'm like, oh man, McNuggets look like he about to go to a strip club, bro. for middle-aged moms. But McNuggets down here shaking some change, putting that cowboy hat out. I'm like, what the heck?
That's my prime demographic, G.
McNuggets out there with the gun show,
gotta
with
go
the cowboy,
make a couple more dollars,
couple
huh?
change. Yeah.
I would clean up at a middle-aged strip club.
Oh, listen, and then they had her. See, you break up some families. You breaking the families up. They talk about you want to text. No, we can't text. This was just for the show.
So is anybody going to like a Halloween costume party today or anything?
No.
I'm going to work after this.
That's been
One of
out.
my other jobs.
All costume-laden parties have been destroyed by P. Diddy. Nobody is allowed dressing up and
No. I feel like they wouldn't have had a party tonight. It would have been last week.
It was last weekend was the
Yeah.
Halloween party.
Why not this weekend?
Because you don't do the party after it's Thursday,
All right.
so you never do the party after Halloween.
They've reenacted social distancing. You can't be around no other grown person with a mask on. Something might just happen.
Oh,
You know, all that. You know.
I think I could see Anthony. Anthony going to a Halloween party tonight?
No, mine was last week.
Told you.
All right, so let's dive into the show. Titus, put the Stormtrooper helmet on the table.
By the way, should I address the fact that I'm giving everybody the finger right now?
Why?
Yeah, 1 minute real quick, then we'll dump
You
into
can
Cavs.
see here, and I missed yesterday's show. Tuesday night, I was cleaning up. I was doing some dishes, and we have this really big, sharp knife, and I'm cleaning it, washing it, and it kind of slipped and cut on my finger. And at first, I'm like, it hurt like hell. I like screamed. It was so painful.
And that ain't funny. That's not funny.
No,
but
I mean it's funny now.
no, it's not funny because I imagine you. Oh, like
It was painful.
I'm sure he has some words,
Oh
choice
yeah,
words after that.
and blood all over the place.
right.
And so at first I was like, all right, I'll just cover it up and it'll be fine. But after like a half hour, it was still gushing blood. So I'm like, I better go to urgent care before
Right.
it gets too late.
You'd be like, I'm gonna bleed out.
Yeah.
Now, because here's the thing: like,
Yeah.
if you get hurt and they have to amputate your finger, that's not enough to get sympathy from us. They're gonna
No.
laugh after 2 or 3 weeks. They'd be like, Bull's missing a hoof.
4 fingers. Yeah,
They'd be
yeah.
like, hey, Bull, give me the middle finger.
Yeah, that would have been
Yeah.
bad.
So he's like, I gotta
Can't be-
save this.
Yeah,
I gotta
exactly. Gotta
that.
save the finger. So I go to the urgent care. By the way, and they did a nice job, but like, I go into this urgent care. It's like 1,000 degrees in there. They close at 8. I got there at like 7:30 at night, and the doctor is this older guy, little guy, and I'm like, "Can you do stitches?" And he's like, "Yeah." And anyway, so I go back there. It's like they clean it up, right, for a second, but then there's blood splurting all. They're like, do you take blood thinners? I'm like, no,
That's
but
what I
like
was about to say.
blood all over the place. Like he's trying to clean me up. This blood like dripping down my arm. It's like falling onto the ground. It was nasty. And then he's like, okay, we're gonna put what do you call it? When they numb you up.
Novocaine?
What's that?
Novocaine?
I don't know if it's Novocaine, but yes, like Novocaine in the finger, and that he injected me like here, here, no,
Yeah.
and here, right here, right here. That hurt like hell. The needle in there, and needles don't usually bother me because I used to have to give blood like once a month. That hurt like hell. Then he goes to put the first stitch in. and the thing hadn't fully taken hold, so that hurt like hell. Then the second stitch I was fine because it had gotten numb by then. But, and then I got an injection for a tetanus shot because I didn't remember the last time I had a tetanus shot. And the knife had raw chicken on it because we had cut raw chicken. So I'm like, and then I'm on an antibiotic. So I was like, I thought I'd just come to work yesterday, but I was so out of it Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. I was like, I think I need the day off. And then I texted Mike and Steve at like 7 o'clock in the morning yesterday. Hey, I don't think I can work today. And then I just passed out and woke up at like 11:15 or whatever, 11.
That sounds like my everyday. I pass out and just.
All right. But
it is 11:16. We haven't talked sports yet. Cavs had a big win yesterday. Let's dive into it after a quick word from FanDuel. Get ready to tackle NFL action with America's #1 sportsbook, and that is, as always, FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets. If that first $5 bet wins, the FanDuel Sports app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL, NBA, and more all in one place. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Guys, the Cavs are 5-0, the lone 5-0 team in the NBA. If you look at all their metrics across the board, they're not just playing well, they're demolishing their opponents. They've won 4 of their 5 games by double-digit points. They have the NBA's second-best offense, the NBA's 4th-best defense. They're number 2 in the league in point differential per game. Bull, I know you say you're poo-pooing the regular season.
I'm excited right now. I mean, those stats are all bullshit and meaningless. But but I am excited about the way they're playing, especially the way Evan Mobley and Darius Garland are playing right now.
Yeah.
Jared Allen did a great job against Anthony Davis yesterday. I thought the whole night was great. I loved that the Cavs kicked ass. I loved that LeBron got cheered. I loved that the fans were going nuts and wanted to see Bronny out there. And I loved that Bronny got his first points in Cleveland. I mean, it was the coolest night. It couldn't have gone better.
I agree.
Yeah.
You got those cool moments with LeBron and Bronny, and the Cavs kicked ass. What's better than that?
I mean, it was very. They got out on them pretty early in this game and started to run away with it. I'll tell you what's exciting though is, I remember last year, the last couple of years when they first got Donovan. The question was, if Donovan's ball dominant and Darius is ball dominant, how can that work? And they spent 2 years trying to figure it out, but it never seemed to really mesh. And when you look at this year's team so far, they do such a great job of all facilitating the ball. Like, that ball is swinging around to the point where it doesn't even matter who's the dominant guard. And I think that's a big part of why they're able to be so successful offensively, because they got so many guys and so many moving pieces. It looks like the Golden State stuff. They're trying to get there, and you can tell that they spent a lot of time this offseason working on this new offense, and people are not adjust to it yet, to what the Cavs are quite doing. And I think that's why they're experiencing so much success early on. I think I'm starting to come into the Dean Wade starting at the 3 thing. I think that's not bad at all. I know he's not really scoring a ton of points, but just the size.
Well, they don't need him to score.
Right, but just the size out there. Like, we've been talking all this time about having a big 3-and-D wing. I mean, he can fit that mold. Obviously, we would like him to, make some more shots. I think he was 2 for 6 from Trey yesterday, but whatever. But I like the fact that they got that size out there. So, like, teams going to have to adjust to what they're doing. You can't come out there and play them small ball, because then you'll get beat up in the paint, especially if Evan Mobley's banging in the paint. Jared Allen had a lot of cleanups in the paint, and they was killing. Jared Allen was killing on the boards yesterday. Love to see that. So right now, I'm 17. I didn't know he had. I thought he had like 15. He had 17. Yeah. So right now, I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Cavs. It's very exciting. If they could continue to keep this going and keep progressing, because this is only the beginning. Like, I'm sure there's still extra stuff that they're going to add in as the season goes. But right now, I mean, you better be conditioned. You better be able to match up size-wise, and you better be able to consistently make shots against the Cavs right now.
Hey, man. Kenny Atkinson, boy, that man got the mojo, bro. He came into the game. He pulled up on these dudes. And everything that we said that they should be doing, or how they get to a point where they can be a legit contender, he done pulled off. First and foremost, the pace. They got two bigs that can run the floor, and they moving up and down the floor. They averaging. I think when I saw it on the game last night, I think they're averaging almost 10 more points a game when it comes to the pace, and they're allowing less points in the first 5 games as well. They're moving. The fact that Evan Mobley now is a legitimate guy that isn't just taking 3 dribbles in the paint, he's able to get the ball. I see him grab the rock, go at LeBron James, and finish over the top of him from half court. I said, now, you didn't have that in your game last year. 2, Darius Garland. This dude, first of all, he done put 10 pounds back on, but he's way more decisive. He's no longer like dribbling the ball around in a circle in the key, doing all that kind of stuff. He's getting the ball and he's attacking, he's kicking, he's moving, and now the lob is back. Him and Jared Allen is connected on lobs in the paint. He's hitting his teardrop. He's looking to be aggressive. And let's talk about this. Donovan Mitchell, I said it yesterday. I said, listen, when you get LeBron and Bronny coming back, Anthony Davis, Donovan Mitchell going to make it be known that I'm one of them dudes on the court. And he came in and did what was aggressive, super aggressive. He was like, hey, listen, D-Lo, you can't guard me. You just can't. You can't mess with me.
He always do that. This like the second or third time that the Cavs then played the Lakers at home. I remember the first time Donovan played the Lakers at home, and Jay was over there, and Jay said this analogy. Basically, what he was saying is Donovan looks at it like, LeBron, we appreciate everything you did for the city of Cleveland.
Yeah.
This is my town now.
Yeah,
and he it seems like every time the Lakers play the Cavs at home, Donovan feels like, we appreciate you bringing the ring, but
he sent an email.
It's me now. It's all me, and I respect that.
He sent an email to the whole city. He's like, "Listen, when they get in here, we're gonna be nice. It's like bringing your in-laws in."
Yeah. Oh, you seen them? They had the welcome home, Bronny. Welcome home, LeBron.
They do that for every player who comes back. It's not just for LeBron.
It's Bull with his in-laws. Hey, listen. He tell baby Bull, "Hey, listen, your aunt and them coming over.
Yeah.
Let your little cousins play with the toys. We're going to get them out of here about 2-3 hours.
Get the hell out. I think obviously the start that Mobley and Darius Garland are off to is great, right? And I think we're all excited about it. If they can play at this level in the playoffs, then this team is a real contender. I think we'd all agree on that.
Yes.
I think the first real test for Darius Garland and Evan Mobley will be not necessarily who they're playing, but how they're playing. And what I mean is, eventually, every good player, even LeBron, will have a slump at some point during the season where he's not as good, right?
Yeah.
So, and Darius Garland didn't shoot particularly well yesterday.
No, he was 5 of 14.
5 of 14.
Right. So, at some point, one or both of them, maybe at the same time, probably not, they're going to go in a slump. It's not working for them. The shot's not going down. The question is, do they lose confidence when that happens? Or do they bust out of that slump whenever it comes and get back to what they were doing? Because I'm not expecting Evan Mobley to have a great game every night. It looks like he's finally taken that step. We're looking for him. But I don't expect to see it every single game. Now, if we do, well, okay, then they're great. But the question is, when it's a couple of games in a row where it's just not there for him, is he able to overcome that? And is the guy we're seeing now the guy we're going to see most of the year? Not just because Mobley's given us flashes.
Yeah.
Never a start like this, obviously. This looks different. It feels different. But we got to see it consistently throughout the year.
I also think, to your point, I think that is true. I mean, right now their reputation is you want to see it in the postseason,
right.
And you want to see it against some of these tougher opponents. But I also think when you look at this Cavs team, like last night, Karis LeVert and Ty Jerome off the bench, like those two ball. Like Karis LeVert was on some most stuff last night. I don't know what
he's been.
I don't know what he been. That boy taking Mike's secret stuff or something. That dude was clipping stuff last night.
He done worked on his J work. I ain't heard J working since 2014.
Man.
But he pulling up without a contract.
But the thing about him though is he will do that and then he disappear.
That's the frustrating thing. Like the variance of Karis LeVert has got to be one of the biggest variances of any player in the league.
He'll give you 50
there
one night and
he looks like an
two.
all-star, and there are times where he looks like he shouldn't be in the NBA.
I think McNuggets. This is a thing. I really believe that when you look at Jared Allen and Karis LeVert, like they didn't play with Kenny Atkinson before.
That's true.
They know he knows. Like, hey, I know where to get you to rock.
That's good.
Like you got to think about it. Kenny Atkinson got Jared Allen $100 million, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Kenny Atkinson got to the point where Karis LeVert had 50, was getting 50.
Yeah.
Like so, it's a level of comfort level when you come in and your coach comes back in. And I just love the difference in the style. Like the way he coaches these dudes up compared to what JB was doing. I mean, he's involved. I just need somebody to look like you upset. Like he just be looking like, hey, listen, I'm upset today. I don't care if we up 50, I'm upset.
You think JB didn't look upset?
Bro, JB with me making excuses. We're still young. These is grown dudes. How you still young? They're on like 4th, 5th contract.
Yeah, the excuses in every postgame was
every postgame. And it's like, and Donovan Mitchell was looking like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
The thing that tells me this is different from that is they played the Knicks who made some moves, right?
Yeah.
And of course the Knicks got to figure it out. But they went to Madison Square Garden and figured it out, right?
It's killing me.
Yeah, get me together. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I
man.
got you.
They went to Madison Square Garden and figured it out. They played the Lakers. The Lakers was playing damn good basketball before they came in. Anthony Davis was being a beast.
They only lost one game.
All of a sudden, they come into our house, and that game was never close.
Never
in doubt.
Yeah, they turned it up.
The Knicks game is the only one that's been close, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
And so for me,
And that wasn't even that close.
Who they got? They got like a stretch of good games. Who's next?
They got the Magic tomorrow night at home.
That's a good
What
game.
kind of start are they off to?
The Magic.
Good. Banchero's been on fire.
I'm about to say, didn't he drop 50?
He had 50 to the night.
50.
On the season, the Magic are
hey,
3-2.
I want to give some thoughts on Dean Wade, Mike, but did you want to say something first?
Yeah, well, you go Dean Wade, then I'll wrap up before we move on to the next topic with
All
my
right.
in-person observations, some things I picked up yesterday that I didn't necessarily see on TV beforehand.
So the thing about Dean Wade, and Lima was talking about this morning, and Lima knows his hoops really well, about how, like, you know, and you referenced it, Tyvis, like, they have been looking for a big wing player forever. Mm-hmm. And Dean Wade's been here. The problem is he's always hurt.
Yes. Isn't he like 6'10"?
somewhere
He's
like
6'9",
that.
That's tall, is
6'9".
he?
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah, that's
6'9".
what
6'10"?
He's why he was playing power forward.
That's why when you switch off, you see him on Anthony Davis.
Right.
And I'm like, dang, well, he's not really giving up much.
He's not nobody. Listen, Dean Wade is not a great player. He's not a great player, but they don't need him to be great. They just need him to be good, right? They need him to play defense, which he does. Mm-hmm. They need him to be able to knock down a three and be a threat like that. You can't just leave him wide open.
Well, I mean, he had that game against the Celtics last year. So
Exactly.
He got it on tape.
But and I know Mike's been high on him since last year, and so kudos to you because I feel like I agree. I think they're better with him as a starter than with Max Strus.
Yeah, it's interesting now. Jason and I actually had
He's a much better defender.
Jason and I had this conversation
Max
on
Strus is
the
a
Cavs
two
show on
anyway.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
When Strus comes back, what do you do?
Put him at the 2 off the bench with Ty Jerome, LeVert, and him.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's going to be Strus's job, and then Kenny's going to see how Strus fits in with the starters, and he may go back to Wade. The one thing I like about Wade being in the starting lineup right now, though, is with Evan being as focally involved in the offense as he's been through 5 games, I don't know how much offense you could really run for Max Strus if you have Donovan, Darius, and Mobley on the court together. There's just only so
Why
many.
would you want to run offense for Max Strus?
Because
he's a shooter.
But he's not a good
makes
shooter.
The defense.
He's supposed to be.
Yeah,
But
it
he's
makes
not.
he
By the
is
way,
a pretty good shooter.
He
Hold on,
was
hold
with
on.
the Heat.
So hold on. So
That's how he got paid.
So watch this.
Shoot.
Max Strus is not that much better of a shooter. I would argue that Dean Wade is a better shooter than Max Strus.
No, because the quality of their shots is so different. Dean Wade stands in the corner, doesn't move, gets open
Right.
threes. Max
But
Strus
Dean
coming
Wade
off
is
pin
much
down.
better at everything else, isn't he?
Yes.
Which is why I'm saying I think there's some credence to leaving
Yeah.
Dean in there because you don't have to run offense for Dean. He just kind of stands in the corner, spaces the floor.
That's why
you don't
he-
have to worry about keeping
He
Max
can come
involved
off.
by
He
running
can come
shots.
right off the bench with
Yeah.
Ty Jerome and Karis LeVert and Jalen Tyson,
And
and
he
they can run all the offense
They
for him if
want-
they
what is
want.
Max-
Outside of his last year with the Heat, what is Max Strus's career three-point percentage?
Give me a sec.
Not that good, is it?
No, it's not. He didn't shoot that
It's,
well.
yeah,
last
just that one
year.
year. I thought the last year in Miami was like the one good year.
Didn't he not show up in the finals when he was with the Heat?
They had him and Gabriel
remember.
and
Gabe Vincent.
But here's the thing. You can bring him off the bench, dog. This
Yeah.
ain't Dwayne
Who
Wade.
is Max Strus to be guaranteed to start? He's a slappy.
You like, come on, man.
What the hell is he?
Well, like I just said, I'm not against keeping Dean. The one thing for the opposite side of that is you have very limited front court depth. Like your backup bigs right now are Niang and Tristan Thompson.
They both are useless.
Well, Niang's actually playing pretty well.
I
Right
said,
now.
Niang's
It's 5 games, small sample size.
Hey.
But if you have Dean in the starting lineup, then you're a little hamstrung might not be the proper word, but you're a little less. You have less flexibility in some rotations because Niang's your only real backup big.
How tall is Jalen Tyson?
6'6", 6'5".
I'm gonna tell you this. Let me tell you this.
They keep doing this.
Yeah.
They keep doing this.
Look. Listen, he's the new Hart. I'm telling him, watch what
Jalen Tyson?
Yeah, he gonna be like.
I mean, he only had one last night, but he be getting them boards now.
Here's my thing. Here's how I extrapolated and move forward. The Cavs, if they gonna be top-notch contenders, who they gotta beat? Celtics.
Boston, New York.
Boston Celtics, right?
Yeah.
If you play in Boston, you can't play Max Strus like that. But you got two athletic scoring wings. Derek White is a large type individual, and on top of that, they're gonna shoot 100,000 threes. And you,
Derek White tall?
He's big enough.
What is he? 6'7", 6'5"?
How tall is Max Strus? 6'3"?
He's like 6'4", give or take.
You can't have 6'4" out here against 6'8", 6'6".
Well, Max Strus is a 2 anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Strus is out of position when he's playing 3. He's
That's
not a 3.
So you put Dean Wade in there. You get a guy that's 6'10". He's a much better plus-minus defender. And you get an opportunity. He's still going to knock down shots.
And he doing it against the 2s anyways,
Yeah,
which he should be dominant because he's a 1 at heart, so he should be fine.
He's not a 1. What is this nonsense about being a 1? Max Strus.
He's never been a 1.
He going with the
a
twos.
starter.
Remember-
He went to two.
remember-
Starter.
He went to twos.
Remember what I said? That white guys, besides quarterbacks and offensive linemen, are always overrated or underrated in sports. Max Strus, highly overrated.
I still have a list. Couple observations from being in attendance yesterday. Then we'll touch on the Bronny situation real quick and move to the Cavs. It's really refreshing.
Browns,
that's what I meant. It's really refreshing to see a coach spend more time coaching than arguing with the refs. And in person, from where we sit in the media seats, you get a direct sight line of the back of the Cavs bench. And J.B. Bickerstaff did a lot of arguing. And Kenny Atkinson does a lot of coaching. And that was just a refreshing thing to see, the way they talk about this new offensive system. Jared Allen, and G, I like how you mentioned earlier he played for Atkinson, was asked yesterday, like, hey, how much of this is the same offense you ran in Brooklyn? He goes, there's elements to it that are the same, but we have a lot of different pieces. So he's kind of taking some parts of that. I'm still learning this offense. Those were Jared's words. He's in the right place at the right time on every possession. Through 5 games, he has 9 missed shots and 9 blocks. He has as many missed shots as he has blocks through 5 games, which is just absurd. He's been playing at an all-star level. And yesterday, the big thing we wanted to see was, will Mobley be aggressive against Anthony Davis in the physical Lakers front line?
he wasn't early.
He had 17 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He had 25 in the game.
Yeah.
As soon as they took AD out and they went zone, Davis went into feed me mode, beast mode, and absolutely dominated the fourth quarter. He set a career high for points in the fourth quarter. A little disappointed it didn't come against Anthony Davis. But the aggression, he scores 17 points in a quarter. You're clearly being aggressive. The team's making an emphasis to get you the ball. I asked Kenny after the game, was that designed or was that Evan just having a feel for the moment? And he said, we ran the first play for him. That was designed. After that, we didn't run a single play for Evan. He just found his spots. His teammates got on the ball and he dominated.
Gotta love that.
And that's a good thing to hear and know that he's capable of realizing 5 games into this new system.
That's an excellent sign.
Because I always go back to it. They need one of the guys because I'm already angling and jousting for position and trying to think about what happens in the East. If Evan Mobley is that dude, I go look at the Boston Celtics and say you have no match for him. Al Horford should be barbecue chicken. You have nothing for him.
He's still on the Celtics, Al Horford.
Yes,
he is.
And getting minutes.
And still playing.
That is the guy where they at the end of the series, during the series, they should be like, we don't have anything for him. We don't have nothing for him.
That's the only way they're going to get past the Celtics.
Right.
Is if that happens.
Because the Celtics got a couple people we ain't got nothing for too.
That's right. All right, let's talk about
Yeah, we'll get to
LeBron
Bronny real quick, but this segment on Bronny James is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Guys, our friends over at 5 Hour Energy know that being a passionate sports fan isn't just a hobby, it's a way of life. It takes a lot of energy to power through tailgates, pregame celebrations, touchdowns, or the agonizing second overtime defeat, which is why they've created Stan the 5 Hour Energy Shot with a special flavor called Fan Fuel. The energy shot made just for super fans like you, fans who are the first in the parking lot, the last to leave. We see you guys. 5 Hour Energy knows that no matter what your team is, who you root for, being a fan requires heart, soul, and a whole lot of energy. Whether you're prepping for the big tailgate or ironing out your jersey, your game day to-do list is always a mile long. That's why the limited edition Stan, the 5 Hour Energy Shot, is here to help keep you fueled throughout the season. What's your fan fuel this week? Whatever it is, do it with 5 Hour Energy. Available on 5hourenergy.com. Shipped nationwide.
Hey, man, I had one of them earlier today. That's crazy. Shout out to 5 Hour Energy.
There you go. Get you fired up. Mm-hmm. That was, I thought, a really cool moment last night. Mm-hmm. That, I mean, for Bronny to score his first NBA basket here, mm-hmm. and the crowd was awesome. You know, we're coming off 2 weeks ago where our fans were criticized for what happened with Deshaun Watson. And last night, I think our fans showed such greatness in themselves. Mm-hmm. I couldn't believe, like, the cheering for LeBron in the beginning, but then, like, chanting for Bronny to come in the game and going bananas.
That's why everybody came to this game.
That was so cool.
That is like, man, listen, and sometimes we don't get it, man. We watching history, man.
Yeah.
Like, we watching something that's the cool thing about sports.
That's a trivia question right there.
Right. Like, every time we come to the game, there's something that may happen that we've never seen that may never happen again.
Right.
So we get a chance to see LeBron James' son, who was running around in them same hallways, in them same locker rooms, come there, get his first bucket. His dad is there. They played in the same game together. And it's a good story, man. And it just goes to show you, if you're from Ohio and you're from Northeast Ohio, you always from Northeast Ohio. Mm-hmm. So, you know, people showed love, and it was a good. I got chills when he scored. Like,
it was really cool.
It was cool to see that.
I tell you what, I wonder, do you think it was a point at a time in this draft that the Cavs really considered drafting him?
Oh, of course.
If they knew if they thought they had a chance to get LeBron back by drafting him, absolutely.
Well, I don't know about that part. But,
oh no, they called.
Right, yeah.
And said, "Hey, Rich Paul."
Yeah.
Now, if we was to go ahead, and he said, "Nah, dog. Nah, that's not working. We're not going with that one." So they was like, "So you know, that's how it works."
Yeah, but it was definitely a cool thing, and I think our fans was really nice from the chanting. Every time somebody shot a bad shot, they was like chanting for Bronny, and it was to the point where it was like they had no choice. Like JJ had no choice but to put him in, like. Because these fans was gonna go crazy,
and it was a tough shot too.
That was tough.
I think he did it on Jalen Tyson.
That looked like a LeBron shot.
Yeah,
it was the LeBron move, which
shot.
made it even cooler.
You know, it was interesting that the crowd's going nuts. He makes the shot. He kept it cool.
Yeah, he did.
You didn't see anything on his face. But I was reading Jason Lloyd's article in The Athletic, and Bronny admitted after
something?
the game. Yeah. Well, he wrote a few things, but
Jason, shout out to you, man.
Hey, your pen, you done got your pen together?
Yeah.
Jason done picked the pen back up, boy.
Yeah, once a month. But Bronny,
Shut up. This is why I don't mess with you.
Bronny admitted that he was super excited and that he was hearing and feeling all the cheers from the crowd, but he didn't want to let it show on the court. I get it, you know. But I know, I remember as a kid, or I don't know exactly, well, I was a teenager, whatever, when Ken Griffey Sr. played with Ken Griffey
I remember
Jr.
that too. Mm-hmm.
That was super cool.
Really.
And in that case, the junior was better.
Way better.
Now, hey, Ken Griffey Sr., by the way, was a hell of a player.
He was no slouch.
He was a good player. So this is different, obviously. Bronny's never going to be better than LeBron. But
don't never say never.
It's mind-blowing if you think about, like, this is just crazy. This shouldn't happen.
Ever.
It's absurd that LeBron at 40 years old is still one of the top, 25 players? 30?
15.
Still top 15?
Yeah. And if you're talking for one game, he's top 5.
That's ludicrous.
I mean, he carried the Olympic
Most guys
team.
in the NBA that play to his age are just hanging on.
Dwayne Wade just got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
By the way, what happened to that
The statue's so bad. So bad. So.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I thought he said he was involved in the process.
He looked horrified. Did you see his face when they unveiled that? I thought he was going to cry.
Hey, you got to take that down. You got to take that down.
My God. Gabriella Union would not have married that guy.
No, you got to take
I'm sure they gonna redo it because
Hey.
it's so
my
much
God.
backlash from it that
He, to me, man, it's a shame. It's a shame.
he looked horrified. They
Think about that squad that they had, McNuggets. With the Heat. Mario Chalmers been retired. I seen him on
Bosch retired.
Bosch retired like 2 years later.
What's his name? Still hangs around, but he just.
Udonis Haslam is done.
Oh, he's finally done?
He retired, yes,
So
officially.
he waited.
Shane Battier.
Them dudes been finished. Norris Cole been done. The fact that LeBron James is still a top 15 type player, it's messed up. Is that the generations in the national media, and it led by the Skip Baylesses of the world and all these other dudes. The Jordan versus LeBron commentary, I don't even engage in it no more because at this point they just being fans. Like, you just being stands. Like, you could just say, I like
There's a lot of national media members that like LeBron more. The younger guys.
I think it'll grow more and more, but
Yeah.
but the stuff he's doing is unthinkable. It's unthinkable.
Crazy.
Like,
and by the way, if we're only judging based on championships, then really Bill Russell's the greatest player of all time.
those are
if I'm playing a game for my life and I gotta win, I'm taking Michael Jordan every time. I'm sorry.
Maybe so, but if you ask, first of all, I'm kind of sick of the
I'm
debate.
taking Michael Jordan
But if you
every
ask
time.
me who's had a better NBA career, I would say LeBron James, and I don't think it's close.
Oh, he got every accolade. He got every stat
And
except
it's
the ring.
easy. Listen, it's easy for people to crap on LeBron. Because you could pick on him for changing teams and the way he changed the team, whatever. People can come up with whatever
I
they
don't
want.
care about. I keep it all
But
to the
what
court.
this guy has done and is still doing is it's insane. You can't be a top 15 player in basketball at 40 years old. That's crazy.
and you've been playing since you was 18.
Yeah.
I told you he
The
can't.
only guy the only guy there's comparison with him is the guy whose all-time scoring record he broke, and that's Kareem.
And he broke
Because
that.
Kareem was really good into a late age.
Correct.
Not 40, I don't think.
I mean,
what is LeBron averaging this year?
This season,
Over 20.
22.
like 22, 23 points per game.
But
I'll pull
what's
it up
like
the exact
rebounds,
numbers right
assists?
now.
What's his full, 3?
22, 5, and 7. Dang.
22.
He's averaging 21, 7, and 7 on 49% field goal shooting.
Ain't his career
What is this?
like?
Why these numbers
That was
different?
before yesterday's game.
Oh, okay.
Ain't his career like 28 and 7 and 7?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's insane to think about. It's remarkable. It feels like, everybody that was still mad, is over it,
I still don't understand why they was mad.
Yeah, I don't either.
It ain't nothing to be mad at that. You can't be mad at that man about nothing no more. After he delivered that championship, it was done.
Well, I'm not mad, but
I'm not saying
I
you.
can't
I'm
speak
just saying
for others.
I'm saying for others. There's nothing else. You
At this point, no. He won the
2016,
only
it was
championship
done.
You've ever seen.
Yeah, it was done.
Hard to believe it's been 8 years already.
And
More
what-
than 8 years.
And
That's
what,
how I feel about the 20 that trophy right there.
Yeah.
to me, the year that he I didn't think nothing. I said I'd never talk about him no more.
Yeah.
Is what he did in 2018 when
they fire sailed his whole team and he still went to the
and
finals.
he went to the Boston Garden.
Yeah.
And beat them in a Game 7, and the Celtics was stacked, and he had Rodney Hood.
They fire sailed his whole team.
They had Rodney Hood and Larry Nance Jr. And
Was that the Kyrie trade year?
yeah, that was.
Rodney Hood still in the NBA?
No.
I don't know,
No.
bro. This dude and
Jordan Clarkson.
and he won- Jordan and in Game 1 against the greatest team I've ever seen in my life, the KD Warriors, what prime
J.R. Smith away.
prime. The boy LeBron came in there and got 51.
Yeah. It was
Like
insane.
13
That
and
series was nuts.
18.
And almost had It's
game
really,
one.
I mean, really, it's George Hill's fault, but nobody
Yeah,
want
right.
to say nothing
And
about
by
that.
the way, last thing, Jason pointed this out in his article. 2 other quick things. One, the good job by the Cavs. They, right in front of the Lakers locker room, apparently put a picture of Bronny on the court celebrating the championship with J.R. Smith.
That's wild.
As a kid, of course, which is
crazy.
pretty cool. He was like 11 or whatever he was then.
That's crazy.
11 or 10, 12, I don't know. And then Jason also mentions at the end of his article, he's like, I don't know, I think maybe Bronny said that, like, Dad's got to stick around for Bryce.
No, he asked LeBron, is this your last time coming back to Cleveland?
Yeah.
And LeBron said, Bronny keeps telling me I got to stick around for Bryce.
Yeah.
So.
And then Jason's like, I think he's kidding. Maybe.
But Bryce is
2 years away. I don't know if he's he an NBA player?
And Bryce
he's
senior?
a lower-ranked high school prospect than Bronny was.
Isn't Bryce a senior?
Say it again?
Isn't Bryce a senior this year?
Bryce would be a senior, so then, no. Yeah, Bryce is a senior, then he has 1 year of college, and then if he came out. So.
Yeah. So it'd be 2 years. So it would be a similar situation to Bronny where he's getting a second-round pick.
Hey, bro.
If he wants to.
LeBron can definitely hang around.
LeBron's not going to drop off that much in 2 years, I don't think.
I mean,
he's going to.
LeBron's dropping off would be him going from a great scorer to him just being one of the top point guards.
Now he
Facts.
did say
he can still dish the ball better than that. He passes better
true.
than about 98% of the point guards in the league.
He would go Magic Johnson.
You know what?
Zach
I was just about to say he could become one of these guys that averages like 14 assists a game.
Yeah,
he could. I bet you he could lead the league in assists if he wanted to, and he just like if he scored
1,000%.
He could score. He could do 15, 7 boards, and 13 assists.
Every night if he wants.
That's crazy.
And that's better than a lot of point guards.
He did say, I think to Jason, maybe to everybody, like he didn't want to keep playing if he wasn't going to be really good or whatever. So I'm not sure where that line is for him. But I would imagine in 2 years, it's hard to believe he won't still be at least a top 30, 40 player.
After watching him this year in the Olympics and how he carried that team,
I
was
That's
like 1,000% he's still good.
He can turn it up. It's the 82 games that he may not be able to sustain that level.
But he said he playing every game this year.
Here and there.
And then next year play every other game. Who cares?
Yeah.
Look,
All right, let's pivot, talk a little Browns. First,
play at all.
There's only one Cleveland and only one gutter guard for the toughest fans in the world. That is Leaf Filter. Leaf Filter's been protecting gutters in Northeast Ohio for 20 years. An investment in Leaf Filter is an investment engineered to protect your entire home. Clogged gutters aren't just a nuisance. They can cause extensive water damage, protect your home from flooding, roof damage, rotting, siding, foundational issues, and more. Do-it-yourself and self-bought home solutions may be cheaper up front, but could end up costing you much more in the long run. Schedule your free inspection now, and for a limited time, get up to 32% off your entire qualified purchase and 2 free Browns jerseys at leaffilter.com/UCSS. That's a free inspection, up to 32% off, and 2 free Browns jerseys with a qualified purchase at leaffilter.com/UCSS. Offer valid on a first-come, first-served basis while supplies last. Full terms and conditions can be found at leaffilter.com/UCSS. See representatives for warranty details. Guys, we haven't talked about the Chargers yet much this week, but Los Angeles has the #1 rated scoring defense in the NFL. They're allowing just 13 points per game. If you were in the offensive game planning rooms with Kevin Stefanski and Ken Dorsey, how would you try and scheme up an offensive attack against this top-rated Chargers defense? Tyvis?
Well, I mean, all those is great. I mean, but I think right now the strength of your team is in the passing game. Now, I will say, Nick Chubb is starting to look really good. He's starting to rev back up. So I would start off just typical fashion. I would always start off with giving Nick Chubb the ball, let him see what he can do, because I think if he gets the way he's progressing right now, him breaking the long 15-yard run and all of those things, like defenses see that, and they see that this man is starting to get his ways back. So as a defense, you got to respect that. Like, you have to. And once he does that, boom, I think you open up for play action and things like that. Jameis shown you that he's good enough with these wide receivers to make plays. I know they got Asante Samuel Jr. Who's the other? I can't never think of who the other corner is. I know they got Derwin James back there. All of those guys, that's really good. But I think that passing attack right now is the hot hand, and you got to roll with the hot hand. And maybe you do it backwards. You do the Kevin Stefanski way. You pass to open up the run for Nick Chubb. The question is Joey Bosa going to play? Because Joey, I think he's been out of the lineup. And if he plays, that means he will be against DeJuan Jones, which would be a good matchup. And can DeJuan hold his own on the left side? That's something that I would be thinking about.
Man, Bosa ain't played since Ohio State, man.
Chill out.
Man, him
Chill.
and
Hey. We
man.
Chill.
If you ask me who you gonna take, Bosa or Nick Bosa's hat, I'll take Nick Bosa's hat. Give me the hat.
Nah, Joey go out there and play this Sunday, and he caused havoc. You better keep that same energy.
I'm gonna keep that energy. I'm gonna keep that energy. You know I will. And let me tell you this, man. Let's get to this, bro. The Kool-Aid is a second away from coming, bull.
Oh, if they beat the Chargers, it's full blast.
Hey,
I don't blame you.
The Kool-Aid's coming from the heavens. Let me tell you something about this, man. We lit now. We lit. It don't matter. All that fifth-ranked defense, all that good stuff. Listen, we got downfield ability. We got spreadonomics.com. Go to the site. Everybody get a football. You get a football, you get a football, you get a target, you get a target. And now we got somebody that's going to spread it around. Now you got Nick Chubb. Now you got, listen, you can't load up now. Right now, like we know that we will throw the football downfield and we will get it down to our playmakers. Now you got Nick Chubb, who now has light boxes. You give Nick Chubb a light box. This might be the week, Tyvus.
That's what I'm telling you.
Super light, super pause. Like if you know, I'm surprised you caught that. Dang, you've been hanging around black people a lot. I'm surprised you caught that, bro. This dude you've been really out here knocking on doors, bro.
I'm learning the ways.
You're learning the ways, man. So yeah, listen, when you got all them dudes at the line of scrimmage, now we got an opportunity where we starting to see it. Now the thing that I'm looking to get more into is there was a few times in that game they checked to screen passes. There was a time they checked to a screen and they got pressure from Hamilton off the edge and he had to get rid of it quickly. I'm looking for the Browns to line up a couple of nice little screen plays to get them lathered up. I think that the play action game is alive and well. And listen, the Chargers is a 4-3 team. I get it. You know what I'm saying? They struggling offensively. The Cleveland Browns, they come out here and put some points on the board that first series, they going to start believing. And that's going to be a problem.
Mike, show me the defensive numbers again, please.
For the
Give me 1
Chargers?
sec.
For the Chargers, yeah.
We'll see what
They
they
was
talk
ranked
about.
9th in the pass and 11th in rushing.
All right.
Steve's trying to click on it.
Steve's getting it up. Pause.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something that's interesting about these numbers. Nothing. Get rid of them, please. They're completely useless. They are meaningless, useless, not important. Okay? First of all, looking at season statistics, we went crazy about the Browns defense after 5 years. All-time great. Yeah, they weren't all-time great. They weren't. The Chargers' passing yards against numbers are fraudulent. First of all, in their 7 games that they've played, they've only faced 2 good quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray. And even Kyler Murray as a passer can be spotty. And Mahomes not having he's turned the ball over a lot, although he's got, obviously, everybody's been hurt. Okay? The other 5 quarterbacks they faced are a who's who of crapola. So I don't want to hear about their number one. When you face 5 slappy quarterbacks, of course you're going to have good passing numbers against. The Chargers are a completely fraudulent team. Now, if the Browns want to be taken seriously, remember, the Browns still have the 4th pick in the draft right now. Mm-hmm. So everybody went nuts after last week. Okay, that's fine. If the Browns want to be taken seriously as getting back in the playoff race, they have to win this game. I know it's Captain Obvious, but okay. They win this game, I'm ready to have a serious conversation about them getting back into the playoffs. They lose this game, it's completely over. Right. Goodbye. There's no excuse to lose this game. They're at home. The Chargers are fraud. They're a fraud 4-3 team. They're not going to go to the playoffs. Harbaugh's getting overrated. Let's face it. People are overrating him. He cheated at Michigan. That's the only reason they won. Although I hate saying that because that gives Ryan Day a pass, and Ryan Day is one of the 17 worst coaches in college football right now.
Sheesh.
By the way, for every doofus out there, as I sidebar for a second, that says to me, well, who are you going to replace him with, Bull? It's Ohio State. They should be able to have any coach they want. This is not Iowa. What do you mean who they're going to replace him with? Ryan Day is not replaceable?
They could get Belichick. They can get Saban.
Yes.
They could get Urban Meyer back. They get whatever they want.
Let me tell you something. I'm sorry I've sidebarred, but I got to go with this for one more minute, and then I'll bring it back, Mikey, I promise. What is Ohio State's average record under Ryan Day? 11-2?
He stayed losing 2 games.
Yeah, sure.
11-2. All right. I guarantee you, and I truly mean this, as absurd, as insane as this sounds, I guarantee you, if I became the head coach at Ohio State, which I am 100% not qualified for, 100%, and I brought G and Tyvis as my coordinators, and then, you guys picked assistant coaches, whatever. I'll just stand there and look at a play sheet and try to look smart. We would win a minimum of 9 games a year at Ohio State. A minimum.
That's kind of crazy.
I don't give a rat's patootie whether or not Ryan Day beats any team besides the games that matter. Now, going back to the other fraudulent team, the Los Angeles Chargers. They're fraudulent that they're in L.A. They screwed over San Diego, which is a disgrace. Harbaugh and his dopey pants and his overrated team. He's turned Justin Herbert into a eunuch. This guy was one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Now he's got nothing. They have no pass catchers. J.K. Dobbins, the guy had 2 good games. Now he's being talked about as a top back. Hadn't done anything since week 2. They're a fraud. Browns better take care of business. Jameis, don't mess around. By the way, did you see the video of Jameis getting food in his car? Have you guys seen this?
Swenson's.
Yeah, it was from Big Play.
Oh, that was Swenson's?
Yeah, Swenson's.
I think Jameis has been living under a rock his whole life.
Jameis is the best.
He's
the best.
He is like.
Can I keep the tray too?
That was unbelievable. Didn't see this?
I didn't see it. I got to check it out.
He was beyond excited. He was like, I've never seen a tray brought to the car before. And it's like, how they put the Swenson's in.
Yeah.
He was so excited. He was blown away by this.
Mind blown. Listen, this is, trust me.
Yeah.
This is funny how things turn on their dime. I was doing Ultimate Browns, and I said, listen, when Joe Flacco was here, we was, I don't know, we don't know what's going on, I don't know. Man, let me tell you something. You know how good you got to be. Let's keep it real. And I know Mary Kay said that. She said that was the worst Baltimore Ravens defense that I done seen. Listen, my job ain't to carry water for no Baltimore Ravens. I don't care if they drop 10 picks. That's on y'all. Out of all the first 6 weeks, you think them other teams is talking about, well, the Browns got to figure it out. No.
The Browns would have 100% lost that game with Deshaun Watson. 100%.
Hey,
I don't think there's any doubt.
Let me tell you this. Hey, look, if you telling me, think about how impressive that is. This man was sitting on the bench for how long?
2 years.
2 years. No first team reps. The man came in and dropped 330 in a game-winning score. Like, I'm just sitting here to myself, and then people talk about, well, the Browns are going to stick with Jameis Winston. What you mean? Of course they are. What you talking about? Why is this a debate? I was beside myself. What are we doing here, people? Like, y'all, maybe y'all might need to see 6-7 weeks. Hey, bro, he come in here dropping these dimes this week. Look, come on now.
You know what the sick thing is? Sidetrack for a minute. McNuggets, did you have Winston on your fantasy team and you dropped him? Is that true?
McNuggets.
You just talked yourself into a new headline.
I did. That's why he was distracted, because I was texting him and Anthony. I changed my headline. Because I originally was picking the Browns to lose this game, and I just realized the Chargers are so fraudulent this morning that I've now picked the Browns to win. I flip-flopped.
This what happens when that Kool-Aid start to come.
So let me get this right. They win this week. The orange pitcher.
Oh, big time.
Is coming out.
What are you talking about?
Because
full-fledged suits.
Well, keep in mind, the Chargers right now are the last spot in the playoffs.
What are you talking?
So if the Browns win, like if they lose, it's over. Done. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Shovel on the season. They win, Now we're talking. You're right there.
Like I said, they lose. They're going to the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Is going to be.
Then you trading guys.
Yeah.
It's totally
they win.
Hey, I don't want that crap.
Out of this game, the one thing I want to know is I got to know if Cedric Tillman is really like that.
If he's
because he got he's fast. He's a big.
I'm starting him in fantasy.
Are you?
In a couple of leagues, yeah.
I don't blame
We're going
you.
to find out, Ty. We're going to find out. We're also going to find out how this Browns defense fares without two of their top players on Sunday. We're going to ask which is a bigger loss after a quick word from FanDuel. Get ready to tackle NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets. If that first bet wins, the FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Not long-term, just for this Sunday's game against the Chargers. We know JOK is not going to play. He's out as he recovers from his head/neck injury. Kevin Stefanski did say this week he's moving. He's out of the hospital, but not in football condition yet. Denzel Ward, who suffered his 6th concussion against the Ravens, is doubtful for Sunday. G, for this game in particular, not long-term, just this weekend's game. What's a bigger loss for the Browns defense if Ward can't play? Is it JOK or is it Denzel Ward?
Man, it's JOK. You talk about JOK and the linebacking core. Browns linebackers. Hicks, I haven't seen him all year. Where's Jordan Hicks at?
He was what do you mean I ain't seen him all year? He missed like 2 weeks.
I haven't seen him. We ain't seen him.
He's been out for like
like 2-3 weeks. Now look at your linebacking core. Now we'll say this: Diabate flashed a couple of times last game. Diabate flashed a little bit. Traditionally, the Browns don't really have anybody else other than JOK. I think he's a secondary playmaker behind Myles Garrett. This week is it's closer than I would have thought because Denzel Ward, obviously, when he plays, he has that teammate badge. Everybody else get 2 to 3 ticks on their coverage skills. Everybody else go up a little bit when Denzel Ward play because then you can bump them down. But we're going to see Greg Newsome and Martin Emerson. I trust those guys more than I trust the backup linebacker.
Devin Bush and Diabate?
Yeah, they're going to have to mix up some coverage.
I wonder if Jordan Hicks is playing this game, actually. It'd be nice if he is.
Yeah,
that way you can have him and Diabate. Devin Bush.
What's your who do you got as the bigger loss for this week?
Oh, I put Denzel for the simple fact that he's the best cover corner we got. I think Justin Herbert is really starting to figure things out. Ladd McConkey just had a really big game. Now, I know he's in the slot, but now that Denzel is out, that moves Genu to the outside, which puts Cam Mitchell in the slot, which means Cam Mitchell's got to go against Ladd McConkey, and I'm very interested to see how that goes. So the fact that Denzel being out and other guys got to shift and move and they won't be on their best receiver, which they can fix, but I don't know who the other outside corner is.
You can't let nobody with the first name Ladd and actually McConkey kill
See, that's close. That's very close to my rule. You guys know I have a lot of rules. I have rules about suits. I have rules about this and that. One of my many rules there, Mikey McNuggets, is if your leading pass catcher is white.
Oh my God!
I'm not worried about you.
Wasn't Julian Edelman white? Wes Welker?
He never did. Julian Edelman ever lead the Patriots in receiving?
Yes.
See, you guys can't say this.
Gronk
I
did.
can say it.
Gronk did.
He's a tight end, Mike. That doesn't
You
count.
just said it. White guys never led a team in receiving.
Now, tight end
Travis
is different.
Travis Kelce.
You can get elite white tight ends.
I should have said not tight end.
Yes.
If you're leading wide receiver, sorry.
Yeah, you can get elite.
And his name is Ladd. I mean, that can't, although I traded for him in a dynasty league.
And he's a rookie.
And he's a rookie. I'm kidding, but
he's pretty fat. He's pretty fast. He
is very fast. Yeah,
I traded
Actually, he's dead nice.
He's like a he's like
first round pick.
He's like a Dustin Fox white guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
But overall, the Chargers are not much of a threat in the passing game. They haven't passed the ball particularly well.
They did last week.
1 week. They played the Saints. The Saints are awful.
We're getting depleted back there. Your best cover corner is out.
I know. Well, let me tell you something. We supposedly have this great secondary. Without Denzel Ward, if those guys can't do well against a bunch of, average Joes, McConkey's pretty good, then that's inexcusable. Then they're not getting paid, either of those guys.
Well,
so let's go.
Well, I mean, that's evident.
The Chargers want to run the ball.
Okay.
So to me, JOK is a much bigger deal.
My man Shuttlesworth in the chat, shout out to the chat doing big numbers. Shuttlesworth says, Bull is Farrakhan today. and Laomi says, respect Cooper Kupp. You right. Hey, he was the coldest for
I'm
about.
I'm kind of kidding around.
Yeah, kind of. But it was funny though. The Farrakhan comment was funny.
Listen, we can joke around about race and have fun, man. Let's not be so uptight. We're all too uptight.
Farrakhan.
Have fun conversations. And whatever. By the way, totally off base once again. I'm taking us off base for a second. But I randomly watched, as I'm scrolling through Instagram, a video of Sandy Koufax, who was a Hall of Fame pitcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers, and retired at a young age. Mm-hmm. And this is a video of his press conference announcing he was retiring, and nobody understood. First of all, it felt like watching a 1950s movie because it was black and white, and everybody was wearing suits and whatever. And they're like, Sandy, why are you retiring? I think he won the Cy Young 5 years in a row, or right before he retired. He was like 30 years old, and he's like, I don't know what's in this cortisone and what it's doing to my arm. He's like, I got to take a shot every 2 starts. I don't want to do it anymore. It's not worth it anymore. And he had this great line. When somebody said, one of the reporters was like, what about the money you're going to have to give up? And he goes, if you talk to somebody coming back from war that lost their arm, isn't there any money they would pay to have that arm back? He was basically saying, like, I don't want to lose my arm, and it was ahead of his time. It was pretty cool.
It goes back to the thing that every athlete, young athletes, risk their entire health just to make money.
Yeah.
And once they make the money, they spend that money trying to get their health back.
In the
dumbest thing in the world.
Hey, the words of Kanye West, having money isn't everything. Not having it is.
That's deep. That's
Mike?
deep. You guys ready to talk about Jim Harbaugh? Well, I know you kind of went on him.
Didn't we already talk about Jim Harbaugh?
No, I want to address some of the topics specifically about Jim Harbaugh.
All right, go ahead.
So let me tell you about the new 5-Hour Energy Shot, and then we will talk a little Jim Harbaugh now. But our friends over at 5-Hour Energy know that being a passionate football fan isn't just a hobby. It's a way of life. It takes a lot of energy to power through all-day tailgates, touchdown celebrations, or an agonizing second overtime, which is why they've created the Stand the Fan 5-Hour Energy Shot with a special flavor called Fan Fuel, the energy shot made just for super fans like you, the fans who are first in the parking lot, the last to leave. We see you guys. You can use it during a huge play, a big upcoming matchup, an exciting moment, like a game-winning touchdown from Cedric Tillman, or you can feel the same boost of energy you get when a new jersey comes in the mail. 5-Hour Energy knows that no matter what team you root for, being a fan requires heart, soul, and a whole lot of energy. Whether you're prepping for a big tailgate or ironing out your jersey, your game day to-do list is always a mile long. That's why the limited edition Stand the Fan 5-Hour Energy Shot is here to help keep you fueled throughout the season. What's your fan fuel this week? Whatever it is, do it with 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy is available at 5hourenergy.com. Shipped nationwide. Tyvis, Jim Harbaugh owns the Buckeye State. At Michigan, he's owned the Buckeyes over the last couple of seasons, and this is his first time back in Ohio since leaving to the NFL. Do you have any flashbacks of horror knowing that your team now is going to face Jim Harbaugh again, even if it's not the Buckeyes, but it's your team?
Before you answer that,
That's crazy.
Every time I see Mike with his cut-off sleeves, I'm like giggling.
Ain't it crazy?
It just looks so funny.
I've been looking at it all day when he had the hat on. I'm like,
I started getting a headache from the hat.
Yeah, like I keep thinking of him making some extra change.
Yeah,
like,
I can picture. I feel like Mike's going to be going trick-or-treating later.
Nah, unacceptable.
Well, this the part that makes me laugh about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh's record against Ohio State is what?
Not good.
3-5? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he
on the Buckeye State, he has a losing record against Ohio State. So
Talk them facts.
that's the first thing. Secondly, this is the NFL. It's that college and NFL is two totally different speeds. You know, we got people like Myles Garrett's of the worlds. We got guys that's going to come in and play with reckless abandon over there. He's still trying to figure things out. He's still trying to establish culture over there, and he's off to a pretty decent start. For us, you know, going up against a guy, the interesting thing is the Jim Schwartz factor. If he comes out there and, man, these guys is playing aggressive like they did last game or like they did last year, then this thing stands no chance. Because I don't think that the Browns' weakness is the run game, and which is something that he likes. The Browns typically do a really good job of stuffing run games. So, therefore, it's going to be put on the arm of the quarterback, and does he have enough playmakers to get it done consistently? That, to me, is going to be the question. And if the secondary can play like they supposed to play, then it's a non-factor. It's not even shouldn't be really a close game. They could really run away with this thing. But as far as own, like that's you kind of lost me with that one.
I mean, come on, man. Jim Harbaugh is a college coach. The man. Let's talk about the shambles he left Michigan in, bro. Y'all not about to get no titles, nothing. Y'all cats blatantly had dudes on other people's sideline. What kind of garbage is that? Second of all, this is the pros, man. Like, you think these grown men care about some Michigan Wolverine, Ohio State Buckeye battle? Jameis Winston don't even know Winston's got trades. You think that man cares? He has no clue. That man is in a different world. And on top of it, this is the way the momentum start to grow. Hey, I'm telling everybody at the stadium, get ready. Like, y'all get down there early. It's going to be some fireworks. There's going to be some fireworks coming around on that Sunday. And the Browns defense, when we talked about them being disinterested a little bit, get ready for that swarming type defense coming back. Because now with Jim Schwartz, and by the way, didn't Jim Schwartz and him almost get in a fist fight?
Did they?
Wasn't Jim Schwartz and him the handshaking deal?
I have no idea.
Was that Jim Schwartz and Harbaugh?
Yeah, no, that was the famous Lions 49ers handshake incident.
Yeah, he don't want no smoke. He probably want to shake hands. Yeah, I see you over there, dog. You still the ops. My thing is, look, hey, listen, Jay Crawford, he loves some Harbaugh in his khakis. He loves the khakis. He thinks the khakis is good for 3 points in Vegas.
Who like that?
Jay think that Harbaugh is the truth. Like, he come in and just knock everything. He getting everything he want. Nah, not this weekend.
Shame on it.
Not this weekend.
Shame on Jay. I expected better out of him.
No, but you know, he like he said, he lives in his fears. It's okay. He's a little older and he's seen a lot more. You know, but the young dudes is talking about this.
Yeah.
Chargers is right now in that last playoff spot. You shouldn't even told me that. Now think about if you come out here and think about what people's preaching now. You come back out here, Jameis Winston looked like he's that dude again. All of a sudden, the people that was leaving and left the stadium like, oh, I can't watch this the Watson stuff no more. Yeah. Now they energized. The defense looking around like, oh, okay, this is what we was looking at. People is banging on the side of them tinfoil things at the top of the stadium. The stadium is loud. And you get Nick Chubb getting better and better each and every week, and you going into a bye? We talked about them going into the bye taking L's.
Yeah.
They go into the bye now with an opportunity to reset and revamp and get healthier and get some of them dudes back.
And then after the bye, you play one of the worst teams left on the schedule with the Saints. So this is it.
This is
you want to have a season, you have to win this game.
That's it.
This is the chance. As bad as it's been until last week, and it couldn't have been much worse.
Right.
The season, and you know, I've been saying for the last week, they're not going to make the playoffs. You ask me now, are they going to make the playoffs? I'm saying no, of course they're probably not going to make the playoffs. But if you win this week, it starts to become a little more realistic.
It is.
All of a sudden, you win this week, now I say you got a 20% shot.
It's crazy.
Well, that's not crazy.
Just 2 weeks ago, we was talking about Cam Ward and Shador Sanders, and now we're talking about the playoffs. Like, that's...
When you can
it's amazing how 1 week can switch everything.
All you need is a couple forward passes. You get a couple
down over 20 yards.
Yeah, a couple throws over 20 yards, you be looking crazy, man. Like, there's gonna be some people that come back.
I need to know if Cedric Tillman is really that deal.
I do too.
I
gotta know.
3 games prove it. How many games? I think it's gonna be more.
He
than
do
that.
it one more time.
If he ball out,
there was a guy, I can't even remember his name, a few years ago, who, want to say it was the Eagles. Oh, man, I'm never going to remember the guy. I'm going to have to look it up after the show and text you and bring it up tomorrow. There was some receiver in the NFL who I'd never heard of. He just came out of nowhere. He had been in the league a couple of years, practice squad guy, and he started the season like 4 or 5 games maybe, where he put up like huge numbers.
Sammy Watkins.
No, that guy was a first-round pick. This guy was totally out of nowhere. I can't even think of his name. It wasn't that long ago.
What team?
I think the Eagles, right before they got Brown and Devontae, I think. Like maybe the year before.
Jalen Reagor?
I'm going to look it up. You guys talk. I got to look this up real quick because I think it's the Eagles. Go ahead, Mike.
Bull just tweeted.
No, I didn't just tweet it. Oh, you got it ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this morning, I went to Hopkins. Mm-hmm. I was at the airport, and I was dropping somebody off at the airport, and I saw, put up the tweet, Mike. This is what I saw. Did I just see Connor Stallions at the airport? Anyone else see him?
Who is that?
That's the sign stealer guy.
I don't know that guy.
That was the guy who stole the signs for Harbaugh.
Oh, man, listen. I know Conor McGregor. That's it.
Oh, man. Well, I thought I saw him at the airport. Harbaugh coming to town. It put it all together. All right, somebody else got to talk for a minute because I got to look this guy up because it's in relation to what Tyvus said about Cedric Tillman. No.
Nelson Aguilar?
No. I'll find it.
Well, let me do a read, and that'll set up our last topic before we bring in Bernie here, guys. Built is a new sponsor of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We've all been frustrated and feel like we're burning cash with rent checks before. It can be frustrating, but here's the deal. Built has figured out a way to make rent more rewarding. Say goodbye to the money bonfire and hello to a renter's revolution with Built. Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Every month, pay your rent and watch the Built points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points toward a flight or a hotel stay with over 500 airlines and 700-plus hotels and properties. You can also use your points to book fitness studio classes. Redeem them toward a future rent payment. They're designed to meet your flexible lifestyle. Pay rent-free through Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a whole lot better. Built Rewards has consistently been ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. Earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNFL. That is joinbuilt, joinbilt.com/LockedOnNFL. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNFL to start earning points with your rent payments today.
I found it, guys.
Travis Fulgham.
Travis Fulgham. Who heard of Travis Fulgham? He had been a 6th-round pick of the Lions in 2019, right?
Travis who?
Travis Fulgham. 6th-round pick of the Lions 2019. Didn't really play for the Lions. The next year, he goes to Philly. Now, let's see if I'm right about him getting off to a great start. In 2020, goes to Philly, all right? And this is what he did. His first 5 games that year, he had 29 catches for, 209, 284, 357, 427, 430, 435 yards, this guy. Travis Fulgham. This was only 4 years ago, Mike. You never heard of him, did you?
I've never heard of him.
I only because I had him in like a Madden team, but yeah. No.
All right. First 5 games of the 2020 season, he had 435 yards and 4 touchdowns and 29 receptions. I mean, that's all-pro level.
Who was the quarterback?
Carson Wentz.
Wow.
And after that, the rest of the season, he had about 100 yards in 10 games. The next year he was in Denver, did nothing, and now he's out of football. So, weird things like that happen. I'm not saying Cedric Tillman's going to be this guy.
He better not be.
But this guy got off to – I remember I had him on my fantasy league, and I traded him. I was like, there's no way this guy's keeping it up. 5 weeks. This guy was playing like an all-pro.
It's crazy.
And he's never done anything the rest of his – and he's gone.
Just like that. Flash in the pan.
Let me ask you this. If the Browns lose this upcoming game,
yeah,
do they tank the season and go for the top 5 pick? or do they continue to roll Jameis out there and let him see if he can be a quarterback that can bridge them for 2 years?
Tanking for the Cleveland Browns is not an option.
Hey, let's save that till after. I don't want to start.
It's a fair point. Let's bring Bernie in. But
well, Bernie's
it is a fair
upstairs.
point.
We got one more thing. This is
been too much losing in this franchise.
This is a quote from Ken Dorsey. And Steve, you want to take tagboard full here. Andrew Siciliano tweeted this out. But Ken Dorsey says he and Kevin Stefanski talked between series throughout the game last week. They improvised, threw in calls that weren't in the game plan, and installed on the sideline. Dorsey, quote, "It helps limit your tendencies." This was the first game we saw Ken Dorsey call plays. First time in Kevin Stefanski's tenure he hadn't been the play caller. Do you guys expect some new wrinkles and some added layers to the offense in his second game calling the plays with Stefanski in the CEO role and all the encompassing factors to that?
Thank the Lord. You know why? Come on, man. I heard everybody, the playbook is exactly the same. There was no different, Tyvis. The same plays. It's the same play. Liars! They're not all the same plays. The thing
It's mostly the same.
No.
It's the same concepts. Plays different, but the concepts are the same.
Here's what I love about that is that is truly what we call making adjustments. See, adjustments aren't stuff that you had that was in your back pocket from last week. Mm-hmm. That's called scripted. These guys went out there and said, "Hey, listen, we don't like that corner over there. That corner over there is trash. Let's victimize him. Let's run this, that, and this."
Yeah.
Off the fly.
That's usually what you do.
Let's line it up on the board. Hey, listen, we gonna slide protect this over here. Hey, Jameis, if they come out and something else, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call and move. But you know what you gotta have? Let me just say this, and this is not a shot and no knock to anybody. If you're gonna call it up on the sideline, you know what you gotta have? A top-notch savant type guy that understands defense and throwing the ball in the passing game. Because you don't got time to practice it. What if they give you another look? What if they come out and they give you split coverage, Tyvis? What if they want to run match coverage? What if they do it?
Then he better know where he's supposed to go with this football off of that.
Off that. Not even no practice. So that just tells me that Jameis Winston, and when Sean King comes in, he said yesterday, Jameis Winston is just, and this is no knock to Deshaun Watson, he's just a better thrower of the football. He came out of a system at Florida State with Jimbo Fisher that used some of these pro style offenses. We're going to use and call and not can stuff. I'm going to give you the ability to audible. And I saw in this game, I'm looking around, I said, oh, this is refreshing. They're letting Jameis run his thing. So I love this because we were not seeing that. We weren't seeing guys on the sidelines calling stuff up. And that's why people excited.
We don't know that.
Hey, listen, he would have said that last week, McNuggets. If they was calling him up, he would have said it.
If Stefanski was calling the plays, he may have done the same thing. We don't know.
That's a fair point.
You know.
But
I do agree with you. I like hearing that.
I like that he highlighted
I love hearing that, whether or not how much was implemented, but I love the fact
they
that they're
some of it. Now they did more because there was a second voice.
Yeah,
more.
And I like the fact that he being open and honest about it. It ain't G14 classified. He telling people, "Hey, we'll draw something up on you." You know what?
Good, keep them guessing.
We'll draw something up on you, Tyvis.
Keep them guessing.
And safeties like you.
But to be
fair,
they
did that last year.
But
we didn't hear that.
But guys,
Amari Cooper said, "I drew it up in the dirt and we ran it." What are you talking about?
And what's the
that is correct.
And what's the variable there? They couldn't run some of these things with Deshaun. They could with Flacco. They can with Winston.
That happened in the Cardinals game. Deshaun was playing.
Yeah, that happened one time.
That was his first game back.
Oh, that was the drawn
season.
Up in the dirt? Was that game?
That happened. But here's the thing.
It was the game before Baltimore.
He's doing that. He talking about like we did that multiple times.
Yeah.
Like that's part of it. It's cool if it's a one-off. But to give somebody like Jameis Winston, who hasn't played in 2 years, the ability to do that, I love it. Now, don't get it twisted. Deshaun Watson is very smart on the whiteboard. Deshaun Watson knows those types of things as well. I'm not trying to say he don't. What I'm saying is this is what Jameis Winston's strong suit is, being able to diagnose and get the ball out.
And Jameis was throwing with anticipation, something Watson has not been able to do.
I agree.
Because he's been hesitant, he's been scared. Whatever word you want to use, he's been afraid to throw interceptions. Hesitant, fine. And Winston's out there like, I don't give it. give a crap. You know, I'm
letting
going
it
for
fly.
it.
And you know what? Listen, and I'm gonna just say right now.
Yeah.
If Jameis want to throw 2 picks this week, as long as you give me 2-1, I'm cool. You gonna throw 4 touchdowns and 2 picks?
Yeah, I can live with that.
I can live 2-1. I'm
Yeah,
cool.
it's got to
with
be 4.
that.
though.
That's what Joe Flacco did.
Yes,
And we signed, we
Right.
co-signed that car loan. I co-signed it.
because that's fun. I can live with interceptions if I'm doubling them up.
I'm
with
about
the
to say,
touchdowns.
that's Josh Allen did that all last year. Now, what I didn't know up until last week, Josh Allen had no picks on the season until last week.
Yeah, he's playing
That
great.
was crazy.
And the only interception was because Amari Cooper slipped.
Yeah.
And
Under the radar,
Yeah.
Khalil Shakir has been really good for them.
Actually, yeah.
I think I'm going against him in fantasy.
And look, to me, I rationalize that. What's the difference between an interception with a return of nothing and a punt?
Depending on what the interception is
Well,
called.
interceptions don't.
Well,
three-
not-
Like if this is with 3 yards of lines, but if you go downfield and punt,
Yeah.
Don't even try.
Yeah, especially on third down.
third down, third
Who
and
cares?
10, he throw a 25-yard pick and
Yeah.
25-yard ball and get picked off, and that's a punt,
You know
dog.
what comes after you throw a pick? You know, Dolphin, the very first play typically is?
Up top, down south. Shot play.
Every time.
And I don't understand
If you
why.
play corner and you just had a turnover, just know
They
they
coming
going
out
up
of
top
you.
first
And how many
play.
times have you seen a corner make an interception on 4th down where they would have been better off knocking the ball down? That happens.
lot.
I'm catching it every time.
Or taking it out of the end zone, which is worse.
I'm catching it every
You
time.
caught a pick in the end
Are
zone
you
and you run
serious?
around.
Oh, yeah.
And then they
Get
let
to
you,
the 2-yard
and then they let you run for 5 yards to tackle you
Yeah.
immediately. To be
Oh,
dummy.
4th and 10, you think I'm not? I'm catching it every time. You know why? Because when it's time to renegotiate that contract, I can say, I got 6 picks on the
They
season.
could say, well, you were a selfish player. You
I
weren't
got
a good
6
teammate.
picks on the season.
Give me that money.
Go ahead.
On the Dorsey Jameis new wrinkles thing, we taped the Sean King film breakdown yesterday. We posted a couple plays on social media. The full thing airs on the WKYC show
A lot
tomorrow.
of controversy on that.
Why? Oh, the head floating
Yeah,
head versus
where to
box.
put
Besides
Sean's
that,
head in those.
I want to
videos.
just read 2 quotes from Sean King during the breakout that you can find tomorrow on the WKYC show. In terms of one of the throws that Jameis made on 3rd down against the cover 3 coverage, Sean said, quote, "This is what real quarterback play looks like. This is elite. This is so good by Jameis Winston. Throws like this get me hyped up." Another quote from Sean, "Let your big dogs eat." And as Bernie stands behind me, and let me see if I pan the camera up to Bernie here. Bernie, if you got a tight end like David and Joke, you just got to let the big dog eat.
Let him eat.
And the way Jameis in the game against Baltimore just found David and Njoku in certain situations, Sean thinks is going to be implemented more and more and more and more into the upcoming game plans. And it's no surprise in Sean's mind that Njoku had a ton of success at the end of last season, and his 2 touchdowns this season have both come from Jameis Winston. He was I know he was hurt for part of the early season, so his numbers obviously down, but he didn't think Deshaun was looking Njoku's way nearly enough, and that's something Jameis is going to focus on.
McNuggets, that play he threw where David and Njoku early in the game caught and dove that for that football, if you look at it from the behind the end zone view,
The very first play of the game.
he had Jerry Jeudy. He could have threw the ball to Jerry Jeudy, which was a better look, but he had the conscious effort to be like, nah, I'm going to go ahead and squeeze this right in here to David and Njoku and get him started real quick.
David and Njoku keep performing like that, he going to see a lot of safety man-to-man on him, which probably going to be their game plan this week. Derwin James probably checking.
Better pass catcher for the Browns with the last name Moore. Elijah Moore or Evan Moore?
Evan Moore.
I thought that guy was going to be a
Evan
stud.
Moore, what's wasted talent?
Oh.
Well, I felt Evan. I just was like, listen. I felt like, yo, they had him, and what's the dude from USC that had concussions?
The fullback, right?
No. He was a tight end
For who?
for the Browns. He was tight end.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Cameron?
Oh, I can't think of his name.
Jordan Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron.
They had Jordan Cameron and Evan Moore in double tight end sets. I said, oh, this is about to be lit.
Yeah.
Never
Never
turned
came
out.
together.
Never came to fruition.
All right, we're bringing Bernie in.
Let's welcome
Mike.
Bernie in. Today's interview with Bernie Kosar is brought to us by Leaf Filter. There's only one Cleveland and only one in gutter guard. For the toughest fans in the world, that is Leaf Filter. Leaf Filter's been protecting gutters in Northeast Ohio for nearly 20 years. Leaf Filter is your permanent solution to clogged gutters. Every installation comes with a lifetime, no clogs guarantee. Leaf Filter uses award-winning patented technology to keep out everything but water, no holes, no gaps, or large openings for debris to get through. Over 1 million homeowners have trusted Leaf Filter, and you can be the next. Schedule your free inspection now, and for a limited time, get up to 32% off your entire qualified purchase and 2 free Browns jerseys at leaffilter.com/UCSS. That's a free inspection, up to 32% off, and 2 free Browns jerseys with a qualified purchase at Leaf Filter, LEAFfilter.com/UCSS. Offers valid on a first-come, first-served basis while supplies last. Full terms and conditions can be found at leaffilter.com/UCSS. See representatives for warranty details.
Bernie, I bought this exact same shirt for my son. Do you think it's appropriate for him to wear it to school or not?
Oh, they're going to get him up out of here.
You think they kick him out?
Yeah, they
Well, happy Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm dressed up and trying to pretend like I'm dressed like an adult today. and trying to be articulate, and I'm being fixated on that shirt of yours. So since
It
you
is
brought
very
that,
distracting.
Baby,
Sure.
since you, I'm not sure you should be wearing it, but from the parenting side,
Yeah.
I definitely don't think your kids should be wearing that to
We are
school.
going to. He and I will be wearing it as twins one of these days.
Yeah, we
Probably
will
not
be
as
doing.
twins.
I will. That will be a future patient for my mental counseling.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of twins, real quick before we get to football, I saw this guy walking his dog, and he was wearing like this purple and red sweater, weird-looking sweater, and his dog had the exact same sweater. So he's twins with his dog.
Hey, man.
Is that weird?
Some
probably-
people take that sincere. Like
He
they're
probably
animals.
getting all the women off of that, too.
We are in the dog pound here.
Fair point.
Hey, Bernie. Hey, Bernie.
We are
I'ma tell-
dog friendly.
We back, Bernie. Listen.
Everybody's excited again.
I know from a quarterback standpoint, when you saw some of them throws, some of the schemes, you was like, oh, okay, I see this. I see what we're doing now.
Yeah, and to take it from the positive side of what we saw with Jameis and hearing what you guys were saying in the last segment and stuff of the kind of the old school Jimbo Fisher throw him from the Florida State days, and that's coming from a Hurricane
Yeah, right.
who has a hard time talking Seminoles and stuff. It was eerily similar to watching our offense last year between Thanksgiving and Christmas with Joe Flacco.
It really was.
It was beautiful to see that intermediate passing game. And this isn't an indictment of Deshaun, but I think a thing that we've been talking about at length through the season is what's our personality. And when last week we talked about, it looked really bleak and stuff, and I do really, not to be funny, but I really do believe there was the spirituality of Jim Donovan and his spirit watching over us, because typically those are games that we blow in the fourth quarter in this century, the last 25 years we've been back. So for the football gods and for Jim Donovan's spirit, I believe, to have us ultimately come out with that game was awesome. But the belief that we were going to do that before, during the week, and to see how offensively it was simplified with just running and play action, and Nick Chubb with 18 carries, albeit only 52 yards, but it was better than 11 carries, 22 yards the week before. And we talked at the end of the segment that I was here last Thursday about how if we do, it may simplify it in terms of running the ball and play action, and then having Cedric Tillman and some of the receivers in the play action game may give them a little time to get open intermediately, and to see what he did, what Jameis did, what the play action game did, with the resurrection of Elijah Moore. I mean, last year, the first half dozen games of the year, we were kind of saying, man, is he a bust? Do we need him here? Same this year. And then Joe Flacco and him had that magical chemistry last year, and you saw 8 catches for 85 yards from him in Jameis's first game. So I hope that is the pathway that we're going to see moving forward here. And this is a big game with the Chargers now.
No doubt.
Bernie, why do you think it took Kevin so long to let the play calling go? And did you notice any difference with Ken calling the plays?
So I know there's been a big focus on the Ken and Kevin switching of play calling, and of course it went fantastic. And I really, though, think that what we said at the end of last week's show, that now with Deshaun being hurt and him not being in the game like last year, the reality was we are for sure now know we are not a spread, 5-man protection, go 35 snaps a game of no backs in the backfield and try to throw and wing it. And when he got hurt last year, we stopped doing that. And we knew last week we were going to stop doing that. And that, I believe, is the main reason why we didn't have those plays in the game plan. So with Ken calling, he did fantastic. I really thought when I watched the game, and again, I'm biased with the U. So Ken Dorsey, congratulations and beautiful job. But I believe that Ken's background is kind of that one-back spread type stuff. And he's really learned from the Kevin Stefanski stuff. And I believe Kevin Stefanski is learning some from Ken's spread stuff. And we saw kind of a convergence of those schemes. And unfortunately, it took maybe eight games to get here. But we're getting there. And it may be too late, but the players don't think it's too late right now. And
you win this week, it's not. You still got a real shot.
Especially with the added playoff teams and the AFC being messed up. It's still a massive long shot, but the players believe, and I see that kind of a convergence of Ken learning a lot from the Kevin offense and Kevin learning from his, and you saw that in the play calling. And because, again, I'm not saying because Deshaun forced those spread games, but that is what people thought he was best at. He thought he was best at. And we talked at length that really separated us from what a real personality of an offense is. And now we've got that. And I believe the coaching staff and the players are more suited for this.
Bernie, another positive, it seems to me, from this offense is that you mentioned Nick getting more carries, and obviously as the weeks go, you'd expect him to get better and better. But he's always been better when the quarterback's under center. Explain that to me, why that would make such a big difference for the running back.
So I believe it makes a big difference for the running back in terms of how he gets the ball, how the line is able to come off, and then the flexibility of more running plays. You could, in the spread shotgun, bro, you know exactly what the running plays are. There's two of them. There's two.
Power. And nobody don't run draw.
And it almost ain't hardly ever power, okay? It's just that zone read, okay? Okay, that was great a decade ago. We fooled you guys. We had 10 years in athleticism to bank on that. So it's sinful and woefully shows a limited intelligence to do that all the time. And when you're under center like that, okay, the line's more aggressive, the get off of the ball is, there's way more running plays you could do and blocking schemes, and we need to be creative in some of those blocking schemes. The zone running game and the off tackle plays are significantly easier and better angles from under center. And then we saw the passing game. It gives you an opportunity to get into that intermediate level of 10 to 22 yards that was woefully absent through the first 7-8 games of the year. So to see guys actually running with separation, it's not just from me to you open now, it's from me to you, G. Bush. You know, and in that play action under center, you're seeing that. And Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman, Jerry Jeudy, those guys combined for 20 catches in the game. They hadn't had 20 all season.
That's crazy.
That's unbelievable. And they were open. They weren't just bubble screens.
Right.
Okay.
We talked about before you came on. He talked about Dorsey and Kevin Stefanski talking about drawing some things up to break tendency in live games and just doing that in the second half. And to me, I felt like when you do get the play action stuff going, it just seems like when you can run the ball, it opened everything up, because now they have to at least respect that. Talk about a little bit, like, from your perspective.
Hey, if I could chime in too, they got to respect it. And for kind of the first game this season, we were awesome on third down. I think 8 for 13. But we almost the whole season it was 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 plus, 3rd and a dozen. Like, you're getting off on your rush against us on those situations. But now we had, how many times was it 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5?
Yeah.
When you're under center and you're running the ball, you're getting less grab 'em holding penalties, you're getting less pre-snap penalties, and you're getting more positive plays. You get in those 3rd and manageable situations where you could continue running and playing.
Two-way goals is very difficult. When you talk about, you know, drawing specific plays up, what's the thought process that goes into that? Like, you know, what's the difference between you having some stuff that you think that you want and is the ability to dial up kind of plays in the midst of the game? Is that an advantage to teams that can execute?
Yeah, so I do believe it's an advantage. And again, I'm back into it. I'm even getting elevated and excited for this now as we're talking about the running game and the play action under center. And yes, it's Halloween and you want to be festive and family oriented, but what goes through my head is under center, what it allows you to do and what I try to come up with is, are we winning the line of scrimmage today? And when you start under center and you start with that physical running game and you minimize the thinking, like we did for DeJuan Jones the other day at left tackle, when he knows he's not going to be 35 snaps a game, spread out on an island, 5-man protection, and I get to start out probably 6 of my first dozen plays running you over. You know, just coming off. I don't have to overly worry about stuff, and that comes at you with that. So what I do is I like to have, although I talk a lot about bombs and throwing, and I absolutely am set up when you come with press coverage and come up, but I'm really into my blocking schemes. And again, I feel bad saying this as a spiritual healer now and really trying not to have a lot of that animosity towards life. But you have to have that on a football field. And I'm really chippy with who's my defensive linemen that aren't playing, that are being too disruptive, or who's my offensive linemen and need help. So wham blocking and power blocking and caving down on double teams, who's being disruptive in the game. So if I was the old days playing Lawrence Taylor, he got a lineman, a tight end, and a chip back. Aaron Donald in the defensive tackles, we'd wham the hell out of you. You know, I mean, you're gonna if you're a defensive end, you're gonna get power O on you.
What if you're a blitzing safety like me?
So you're making sure you have your fullback in there. You're not gonna have your scat back receiver on.
I'm a hold the look though, so you don't count me in.
But Bernie, by the time Tyvus played, the fullback had gone the way of the dodo.
So
you gotta hold the look, bull, so they don't count you in the protection.
So, but we do a lot of the chip check throughs with bigger guys. So in those plays, if you're not coming, you're wiping out the D lineman and leaking down right in front. And then the time you are coming, that's your responsibility. And
back then, Bernie, you could be they would engage you up top and get you down low, Tyvus. That was the nitty gritty back then.
That was they was so
you could be going, no, it's wrong. It's wrong now. Don't do this, kids. We engage you up top and then wipe you out from the side. I mean,
Bernie, I gotta put Bernie on the spot here. You played with a lot of great running backs. Of all the great running backs you played with, who was the best at the chip block?
So I was so blessed because I obsess on it. So that was whoever I was kind of playing with. Those guys were adept at it. I really mastered it towards the end of my career, though, with Leroy Horde.
Yeah.
Leroy was, because he was such an adept pass catcher, and he was so creative at just finding the void. It's almost like what Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce have, where it doesn't even look like a route.
Right.
Leroy's didn't look like routes. It was just, I'm going to bang you as you're coming through hard, while you're engaged with the tackle, and then find a void. And then we had a little conversation, a little yelling, and we'd be able to do that. But Kevin Mack was amazing. Ernest Biner. I mean, that was That was the weapon.
Yeah.
McNuggets
Mike,
got
go
something
ahead.
for
He's
you.
que-
Keep
Mike
throwing
is
his
question. Go
hand
ahead.
up.
This just came out a second ago. I wish the players and the coordinators spoke either earlier in the day or earlier in the week because we're getting some really interesting stuff coming out. We talked about Ken Dorsey talking earlier, how him and Stefanski were communicating and collaborating. This is from Joel Bitonio, who said, it was pretty much all the same plays that Ken Dorsey called on Sunday, just a little different sequencing. He anticipates more plays from under center going forward. That has to be because Deshaun was not necessarily as comfortable in under center situations as Jameis is. Bernie, could you touch on, I know you mentioned it earlier, where the quarterback's lined up, how it impacts the run game, etc. But if a guy is comfortable under center, how much does that open up in the passing game as well, knowing you can utilize more play action, knowing the defense is more on its heels because there's more running options? What does that do change from an offensive play calling philosophy may not be the right word, but from the ability to call anything when a quarterback's comfortable in that position?
Again, I'm trying to keep my maturity in my Halloween costume with my mature attempt here, and I didn't get the shirt call today. So you're buffed with that shirt on there, my man.
Yeah.
This is a shirt fest here.
It is a shirt fest.
Hey, but to the seriousness of the question, is under center in the play action game and opening up the throwing game, it actually makes the drop back game easier too because you have more guys in there. It's wider edges for the defensive ends. You have more guys in there to handle the games and stuff. But you saw with the play action game, it's not the defensive lineman immediately rushing up the field. So the intermediate throws are so much more open. The receivers don't feel as pressed to hustle through their routes. And now we really are attacking the 10 to 20 yard range with a check down in front of it. So one of the things you've heard me say a lot on air as I kind of look in the camera is I'm looking down the field. I want to throw a middle read. I want to throw an 18, 20-yard square or a bow out. I'm still looking down the field. And in the spread shotgun stuff, my checkdowns are mostly check wide to the sidelines. Mm-hmm. Under center and play action, my guys are all right in front of me. Bull, you're one of the checkdowns. You're Leroy right there, so I could stay the whole time this way. Right, I mean that kind of goofiness hits your head. Hey, when LT's going to run your ass over, okay, that's very happy. You're very happy to see that over there. Okay? That's better than Christmas morning. Okay,
Bernie, what did you think of DeJuan in there at left tackle? Did you notice him, and is he a guy that you think could be a long-term solution at left tackle?
So I'm a big fan of his.
Go Bucks.
Personally and professionally, and when people were jumping on his backside. Oh, he's lazy. Oh, he's not trying. And he's smart too. So for a big tough guy, this is not an intelligence thing. But when you have to you're not used to being spread protection and 5-man protection and completely being on an island, which there's only a handful of dudes in this world that can handle that. So why are we picking on him? Because he's not one of 5 guys like Joe Thomas in the world that could do that. Yeah. So to limit and kind of take that out of the game plan, okay, and then to say, hey, dude, I'm 360. I'm actually bigger and tougher than all of you dudes. Okay, so to let him know that and say, instead of the first 15 plays being scripted and a dozen of them are shotgun spread plays where I'm on my own and I got to worry about, double A-gap blitz and am I squeezing down and they're really faking it. So they're faking me over here and it's really coming off the slot and I'm not being lazy, I'm just uncertain. And when you take some of that uncertainty away, I was watching him the other day and it's like his confidence was so exuded because he was just running and play action passing.
What is your well, I'll ask that second. Jameis Winston, I think what we saw was people throwing in with anticipation, throwing guys, and he just letting it go, and it was beautiful. He almost throws an interception at the end of the game. but then comes back and then like the next throw and drops a complete dime.
Yeah, the spirit of Jim, came and knocked that out of Kyle Hamilton's hands. That kid hasn't missed a ball like that.
We was all our whole life was in our throat at that point. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was. I want to keep it funny
you better repent.
I'm sorry for that one. Let me just ask you, what is your philosophy on interceptions, right? Because it seems that Jameis is not afraid to throw them and come back and throw great footballs later on.
Yeah, that's a really great question and a real transition point of old school and new school. Completions, not completions, throw the ball away, no mistakes. Everyone always says no mistakes, no turnovers. Turnovers kill you. They do. But look at that mindset of like, I could go throw no turnovers and still suck. Okay, right. What good does that do? So Gary Danielson coached me up, my mentor, and he's doing a lot of the college games still. And he goes, you got to throw it in there. You got to let it go. And if you throw a couple picks, well then you got to throw more touchdowns. Okay,
that's right.
I like that's the ratio.
Okay, and you got to let it go. And you guys in the segment before I was coming in, as I had to chime in behind Mike over there about the Jameis throwing guys open. The NFL, we throw guys open. Now, people say, well, Deshaun didn't do that. Lots of young quarterbacks are constantly being coached and yelled at. Don't throw an interception. Don't throw it. See the guy open. From birth, they're being told, see the guy open. Don't throw interceptions. So you almost are creating these scared quarterbacks back there to let it go. So it is incredibly challenging for young Qs to have the mindset that it's, in my mind, okay to throw interceptions. Because a lot of times that's also why I'm not hired to coach. Because most coaches also don't feel like that is. But if you make your quarterback scared, we watched it, okay? He didn't the last 7 weeks. I do the you matter, and that's really about self-confidence and self-esteem. And if you don't have the self-confidence to believe that if I throw 2 picks, screw you, I'm still going to throw 4 touchdowns and win the game, so deal with it. Okay, and you don't have kind of that Brett Favre mentality of that, or Dan Marino mentality, and some of the real gunslingers. Patrick Mahomes, if he throws a couple picks, he's okay, I'm going to deal with it and make more happen. So that mindset is really important, and it's hard to get with the way so many coaches are yelling at their kids and from birth telling them don't throw interceptions. And so Deshaun, I believe, also, like, people are like, oh, he wasn't trying, he didn't care. He did. He tried. He handled it. But the pressure and criticism that he was getting on and off the field, I think, also gets in your head. And then you're told, hey, don't make mistakes. Don't make mistakes. It almost manifests in itself. That at the end of my career, I had a hard day. You guys didn't see because I was down with the Dolphins and the team wasn't here. But I had trouble pulling the trigger. That's why I'm so into you matter and self-confidence, self-esteem.
What do you mean you had trouble pulling the trigger?
Because I started listening, first to us.
You lost your confidence.
You don't have as much. You didn't let it go as much. And when you did, you didn't know, and that you didn't believe as much that it was going to be successful. So, like the throw to David Njoku that I chimed in with, he wasn't open, but he's the man. He's chief. Pro guys make them plays, and I'm trying to be funny with it, but your guys are DBs for a reason. You can't really catch as good, and the rules are really bad for you. Like down the field, you can't touch. Like in the old days.
First of all, Bertie, we catch fine.
You don't.
We get paid.
Look at the Ravens. They don't catch fine, man. Thank God. We got a couple touchdowns and a win because they can't catch.
That's right. Bertie, we've talked all about the offense, but let's talk about the defense.
Hey, wait, one more thing.
Go ahead.
The throws and to the old days, like to the Chief throw. Why you got to let it go now? Okay, as we had to let it go in a day when you guys could decapitate us.
Yeah.
So I prided myself that I never threw above your O right here, halfway above your nipples. I never threw a ball. Okay,
Because you didn't want to get killed.
because there was no defenseless receiver. Ronnie Lott would kill you.
Yes.
He would decapitate you.
Yeah.
And I was watching guys like that. That was the mindset. But now you're not allowed to touch us. So those throws, every throw, should be from your nipples up.
Yeah.
Especially in the red zone.
Yeah.
So because you're not allowed to touch them. So
Right.
now you throw the guys open.
Yep.
And if you hit them, it's a penalty. And odds are with these pro guys, they're going to make the catch like Chief did. So I keep saying more power to those plays. And when you get a team like the Ravens, 32 in pass coverage, and again, I make it as a joke, but they really don't catch good because you could make them plays. Yeah.
Bernie,
tempt them.
The last 2 weeks, the defense has played much closer to what we saw last year in the loss to Cincinnati and the win against Baltimore. But now we've lost JOK and Denzel Ward. How hard is it going to be? I know the Chargers' offense hasn't been great, but how challenging is it to be without 2 of your 3 best defensive players?
Yeah, so that is challenging. Those are 2 of the least guys I want to see out this week.
Yeah.
Because that is somewhat of the rhetoric that the LA Chargers and the offense is average at best.
Yeah.
I love Justin Hebert. Like, this guy is like an elite athletic level. And whether people like Jim Harbaugh or not, he's a tough guy, superstar coach. That team has had an attitude adjustment. And this is a game with Hebert and the way they run the ball and the way JOK has been all over the field that I really think we could use him. And that's going to make a tough task already even tougher. But if, again, Jimmy Johnson, somehow, some way you pull this out and you go to 3-6 and you have a chance to get to this bye week, because what we started with about on my Ohio State Love Fest today is we had DeJuan Jones playing left tackle. We had Joe Bitonio at left guard. We had Ethan Postnick back for the first time in 3 weeks at center. We had Wyatt Teller back off of IR, and we had a healthy Conklin at right tackle. Give them another week to get healthy. On top of that, and Jameis, getting into this play-action game. If somehow, some way, we pull off this game at 3-6, the season's not over now.
That's right.
That's pretty exciting, considering how we felt just 7 days ago.
That's right. Mike, let's go. We'll keep Bernie with us. We'll go to Super Chat, see if there's any questions for Bernie or.
None of the Super Chats are for Bernie specifically. If you have one in the next 4 minutes, send it in for Bernie. But our Super Chats today are brought to you by Built Rewards. Listen up, renters. Ever feel like you're stuck in the loop of rent payments, just watching your money vanish into thin air? It's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. That's where Built Rewards comes into play. Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent every month. Pay your rent and watch the Built points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points toward a flight or hotel stay with over 500 airlines and 700 hotels and properties. You can also use points to book fitness studio classes. Redeem them toward a future rent payment. They're designed to meet your lifestyle. Pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built points have been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. Earn points by paying rent right now just by joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNFL. That is joinbuilt, joinbilt.com/LockedOnNFL, just like you see it on the screen. Make sure you use our URL so they know we sent you, joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNFL, to start earning points with your rent payments today.
Yeah, that was the longest read ever.
Time for Super Chats.
The read was crazy.
First one from Forceman47. Could Dorsey not being given play caller status at the beginning of the year been due to Kevin wanting him to focus on coaching up Deshaun as the quarterback coach?
The world may never know.
Yeah, but people are chiming on that, and I get asked that a lot, and I guess it's fair, but at the end of the day, Deshaun, everybody wanted the Houston Deshaun spread offense.
He wanted it.
He wanted it, and he was the quarterback who came here. So I don't. Those plays were going to get called. We had to see the failure to realize you. I mean, I kind of felt I hate revisionist history, but on the air lightly and off the air for sure. We talked about we knew this spread wasn't going to work. Yeah. So it took 7-8 games. Okay, it doesn't work. Put it in the grave on Halloween. We don't want to see it in the next few years.
Done. Goodbye.
It's done.
Next one comes from Josh Heisler, who says, "Love the show, guys. When are you having DJ Hazmat back on?"
That's a good question.
I haven't seen any of his songs.
I have. He had one.
Oh, he's doing them
He
again?
had one last week. Shout out to Haz. I seen him.
He wasn't doing them consistently though, was he?
No, he was just like us. He was devastated.
I think he was. I mean, because he wasn't.
He's back in the game now.
We all back.
We're back. Yeah.
And the last two super chats are some roasts of our Halloween costumes.
Go ahead.
Do you want the one about me or the one about Tyvus first?
Let's go Tyvus first.
What I do?
Well, there's two of them. One's for me, one's for you. Evan419 says Tyvus wearing his NFL interception career total stat sheet for a sweater on Halloween.
That was crazy. Shout out to G New.
And Eddie
That's
says,
funny because I dropped my only pick. That's the
Right.
sick part about it. I dropped.
Did
it.
you really?
Derek Carr threw me one. It was like, ping.
And you were just arguing with me.
I know. That's why it was so timed.
I know it.
and Eddie says, I look like I'm ready for the Brokeback Mountain sequel.
That's
That's
It's
messed up.
pretty good.
We were kind of
It's pretty
dancing
good.
around that for a while.
Yeah, no, that's pretty
Messed
good.
up.
Yeah. That's not messed up. Nothing wrong with that. Let's go.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
In overtime, we're talking about the Yankees losing the World Series.
Yes, that's great news. That's all coming up, Bernie.
man.
Thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you guys, man.
Hey man.
We'll see you tomorrow
Happy
in
Halloween.
overtime. The Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. All Tim at Cleve and Spot Shoes.
No matter.
Peace.
Ultimate Cleveland.